Second.
Are you on Facebook?
I'm going to be right now. Use on Facebook. Well, something just happened here. Go live on Facebook is what I'm trying to do, and it's.
So, Dean, are you broadcasting live from Cartersville, or are you up on the mountain?
No, I'm on the mountain.
All right. I was talking to Bo yesterday. I lived in Cartersville for several years.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, we lived in White.
Pretty good little town.
This is live streaming. Okay. So we should be going live, Michelle. I can't tell you right now because I can't go back
Okay,
there.
gotcha.
All right, it's now 5:31, and we're going to start the Monteagle Beer Board meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to review and approve a license for Mr. Charles Gene Gibson. The time is 5:32. The date is January the 25th, 2021. So, Mr. Gibson,
Hey.
you're there. We have your, I think everybody's got their packet, right? This is an on-premise license. You want to introduce yourself and tell us where you're at and what you're doing, sir, and we'll go from there.
Okay, Dean Gibson, Charles Dean Gibson, go by Dean. And we're opening up the local bar and grill in the old Dave's front building. And, I live in Cartersville, but I'm up here all the time because, you know, all my folks are here. I got Bo with me wherever he's at, and Kim. You know these folks, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure do.
And we're trying the beer license, the alcohol license for the bar. Try to get open sometime February.
Okay. Council, do you have your package on page 2?
Will momentarily.
Okay, I'm just asking you to review the package to see if you have any questions while you're talking to Mr. Gibson. Family. This is going to be a family business, isn't it? From what I understand, which we appreciate that.
Correct.
And I think Mr. Garrett's been down to visit you while you're getting ready to do this. Is that correct? Right.
Been down. He's got to do a final, I think, here maybe this week. I got questions for him anyway about signage and such.
Right.
Okay.
And I gave Kim that number, Earl's number.
Okay.
Okay.
When's your opening date?
I'm looking at mid-February. I hope I can pull it off.
Okay.
We're close.
Debbie,
There's
is
a lot-
everything,
A lot of work.
Debbie's across the way. Has everything been met as far as the beer license, as far as background checked and everything else that needs to be done for Mr. Gibson? Okay. And it is in compliance with the zoning. Earl has checked that for that area. We're just confirming questions since we're now trying to make sure we don't repeat errors. Okay, sir? So that's the reason I'm asking Debbie why we're doing this. Council, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Gibson?
No, I do not.
Looking forward to trying it out.
That's
Well,
right.
then I need a motion, please.
I make a motion that we give the local bar and grill beer license.
And do we have a
Second
move?
it.
So we have a motion by Doreen and a second by Nate. All in favor? Say
Aye.
aye. Oppose? Welcome, sir. We appreciate it. We look forward to utilizing your facility soon. And if we can help you, you've got our numbers and other things. Does anyone have anything to say?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, are you going to have a pool table?
No, yeah, maybe a place to put it.
I got you.
Are you having live music?
I'm gonna have a lot of live music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
You
good.
still have. You
I'm
have an
gonna have-
outside patio. Go ahead.
You need pool tables. I hear the ones from the V are cheap. You could buy them from the assembly. They tried to sell them to me already.
Yeah,
You do have an outside venue that you can use. I know that they did before, whenever it was Modern Days, right, that you can do outdoor activities whenever summer comes around, that side field as
Right.
well.
do I have to contact y'all when I'm doing that, or put music out there, or just, is it time on it, a certain time? Stop?
There is time ordinances, and we can get those for you as far as you can get that from Debbie. As far as noise ordinances, I think it's 11, 12. I'm not sure the time frame. Also, I know if it's closed off, of course, they can explain to you where beer can be served and not served like a beer garden,
Right,
like
right.
other venues have. But yeah, again, we do appreciate, we look forward to you joining the Monteagle community.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was all we had to discuss at this point. Do we hear a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, was a motion by Doreen, a second by Jessica Babalaro. We will be coming back at 5:45, Deb, is that correct? For a public hearing, so that's only like 9 minutes. So I'm gonna stay live as people join, but we'll just sign off from this one, and then we'll start another meeting in a few minutes, folks. Or y'all can stay here if you want to.
I'm gonna go get a snack.
All right, thanks.
So,
Hey, Nate,
hey,
did you get a haircut?
I did. I got my ears lowered.
I started to say it looked like either something had happened. So, not that, it matters. But
I'm not, Dean, never mind. I'm not going to tell you this. I've got the nuisance noise ordinance out, but I don't think that pertains to live music. And I don't know.
What I'm thinking about, what's the hours I can serve in town?
we'll have to find that for you too. I don't want to quote anything. I don't have it in front of me, but we can do that. There is, I think sunshine laws, it's still that.
Yeah, it's in here. We should get better at looking stuff up.
Well, we didn't know we'd be asked that tonight, Nate.
Well, I mean, I've got the code sitting here in front of me. I have read it. I know it's in here.
Well, once we get this website, which we'll talk about that tonight, it'll be on there and he can look it up himself.
Board of Commissions, Municipal Court, Social Security, Personnel Procedures, Municipal.
Hey, the Motley Crue will play for you once you get up.
Alcoholic beverages, 8-1. Here we go.
You sure you wear that mask, Brian?
We'll play for you.
I'm not even going there. I just keep seeing those pictures of Nate. I can't do that.
I know.
You were, no, I'm not playing with that group. Okay.
There's the rules that you just went through. Alcoholic beverages subject to regulation, qualifications of applicant, application certificate of good moral character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go over all that.
Right.
We already passed the background check.
Post-fact. Yeah, we've already got over it here.
Yeah.
Filing fee restrictions. Seemed like it would be in restrictions. Locations of liquor store. I know it's going to be in here somewhere.
There goes your snack.
You only got like 6 minutes left there, sir.
Yeah, all right. Well, I may not be fast enough.
I got a filet mignon over there on the stove.
Oh, on premises. Here we go.
Oh, boy.
So here's your privilege tax. I guess you're already aware of
So you can be the.
that there's a privilege tax in Monteagle for the privilege of serving. Are you
Okay.
aware of that?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Let me just cross that.
That's going to be in chapter 8-9, but I'm still not seeing any hours.
Good.
Well, there is hours, so that's the reason I'd rather not anybody quote anything until Deb will get all that for you.
We got
Yeah,
time
they're here somewhere. I'm just not finding them.
we got
No,
time
I
to get
know it is. And once we get it online, you'll be able to look and it'll be updated. And that's something we're also going to work on. But Deb will get those for you if you want to. Somebody wants to come up by here, or Kim, you're going to be up here Thursday, right? And so she might could have those ready for you Thursday.
Sounds good.
Or Bo, whichever one wants to come up, because I know she's going to do the sign up over at the community center from 5 to 7. Is that correct, Kim?
Yeah, 5 to 7. I'll be there.
Starting on Thursday. So
What kind of menu items you having? Everybody's asking what kind of food.
Wings. Bar food.
good wings.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I found it. If we've got a few minutes.
You got 2 minutes.
Yeah, it shall be unlawful for any beer permit holder, employee, or person engaged in the sale of beer to, number 1, employ any minor under 18 years of age in the sale or distribution of beer, make or allow the sale of beer between the hours of 12 midnight and 6 a.m. on weekdays, and between the hours of 12 midnight Saturday, and 12 noon on Sunday. Allow any persons under 21 to loiter. Make any sale of beer to an intoxicated person. Allow drunk persons to loiter.
Hey, one more time with the times.
Anytime after midnight.
It's 12 o'clock, midnight, and 6 a.m. No sale between midnight and 6 a.m. on weekdays, and
Okay.
between midnight and Sunday noon. So Saturday midnight and Sunday noon.
So it's midnight. I got to cut off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a sunshine law.
You
instead
can
of-
start at 6 a.m. most
Yeah.
days.
Well, we won't
Oh,
start.
and never mind about pool tables. Number 7 is allow pool or billiard playing in the same room where beer is sold and consumed. I knew
Okay.
I'd seen some obscure thing. Yeah.
That's because there's a lot of sore losers.
Yeah, that might be it.
Well, that probably just means that the bar has to be in a different room. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it says, in the same
Hey,
room.
Nate,
Yo,
we're down to 3 minutes. Just letting you know before I start another meeting.
okay.
Just FYI. Just-
Go
Wait.
with
Sam.
All right, then.
Is that what they're
You've
saying?
got they're here different hours. Hang on.
Oh, good.
Number 9 says the on and off premises sale and the on premises service or consumption of beer or other beverages with an alcohol content not to exceed 5% is prohibited between the hours of 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. This is an updated ordinance in January of 2011. So it looks
I
like
can go to 2 a.m. on the weekends.
looks like we have something to reconcile here, Mayor and Council.
We got a lot to reconcile, sir. We'll just put it on our list. Not in a bad way. Hey, I'm going to invite Sam to be, hey, Travis. I'm going to invite Sam to be a co-host on this, but since he is our attorney, we're going into a public hearing in just a moment, folks. I'm going to let him know.
Okay.
So just so y'all know, and we'll be starting that in 2 minutes.
All right. Sorry, Dean, to confuse the subject, but looks like we've got 2 options there. We're just gonna have to figure out
All right,
how
just let
to
me.
interpret it.
I like the 2 a.m. better. Cut off at 1.
All right.
Works. All right. Thanks.
Go eat. Go get a snack.
Oh, I got it now. I forgot.
Yeah, you forgot.
You're welcome to stay. We're getting ready to start a public hearing on 2 ordinances in about 2 minutes, folks. And it's whatever y'all want to do, okay? Sam, are you here?
I'm here.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and make you a co-host since this public hearing will be starting in a few minutes. If you need to engage in conversation, just let us know because when we start the public hearing part, okay?
Okay, we need to make an announcement before you start the public hearing, Mayor.
Well, in about 1 minute, I'll let you announce it. I'll announce you as the town attorney for the, and then I'll let you make the announcement, okay?
All righty.
Got 1 minute to go before we start.
Complete silence. Here's looking at you, Sam.
Thank you. Except you're not.
Well, you should be there. Where are you, Sam?
I'm Sam's iPad.
It should be showing your face. We made you a co-host. So where are you?
There I am.
There you are, Sam. Hey. Okay.
Welcome to the zoo.
Hey, Sam, while you're on the clock,
Yes.
were you part of that beer board meeting? Did you straggle in there?
I came in right at the very end.
So we've got,
Stop. It's 5:45. Sorry.
okay, never mind. I'm
Okay, we can talk to him later. I'm sorry.
Everybody forgot.
I'm just gonna announce the time and what we're doing, Sam, then I'm gonna turn it over to you, okay?
Okay.
Okay, it is January the 25th, 2021. It is 5:45, and we are now having a Monteagle Council public hearing meeting. Sam Elliott is our attorney, and he is going to now take the floor.
Well, I'm gonna make an announcement that the Monteagle Board of Mayor and Aldermen are having a virtual meeting consistent with Executive Order number 16 and all extensions thereof of Governor Lee, having made a determination, as we are at the first of the meeting, that the meeting should be held by electronic means as a result of the COVID-19 outbreak. So that's why we're not meeting in person. We're meeting virtually here today. This will be a public hearing relative to two ordinances. The first ordinance relates to the adoption of a comprehensive zoning ordinance that has been advertised. Debbie, you can tell me what ordinance number it is. I don't have it right in front of me.
Well, she's across the way. It's 02-21.
Okay,
It's the map. Yeah.
02-21, and then is the map, and then the ordinance itself is 02-22 or 03-21. Okay, all right. And this is a public hearing on that for members of the public to make comments should they care to do so. As it may be known in the town, there's been recent litigation having to do with the validity of our zoning ordinance. And to get that under control and to make a few tweaks in it, which will make it easier for the town to administer, we are adopting a new zoning ordinance, which is basically the one that we feel was imperfectly adopted in 2018 with a couple of tweaks, as I mentioned. And then to go with that, adopting an updated zoning map of the town of Monteagle. So that is what is before the public tonight. And I guess, Madam Mayor, if you will open the floor for comments from anyone who cares to make a comment, now's the time to do so.
All right, what we'll do is we do have someone manning this tonight. Are you ready?
Ready, what do you need?
Whenever that, if people want to make a comment, can they not raise their hand? How do we do that? At this point, to make sure so if you want to make a comment, you can put it in the chat area, Kathy, and then we can allow them to be unmuted one at a time.
Yep.
So what would be the order, Sam, you'd recommend so that
Well, I think if someone wants to use the hand raising function, they can do so. Or if they want to do it by chat and make the comment or ask any question they want to, then we can address it. It may be that no one wants to do that.
Well, right now the floor is now open for comments. You can either send us a chat or you can actually raise your hand because we can actually see you all. So we asked you at this point in time, please let us know if you'd like to make a comment. And Sam's here to answer questions, or myself for the council. So
let's wait about a minute or two and see if anyone raises their hands or wants to make a comment. And if no one does, then you've had your public hearing on both ordinances, Madam Mayor.
If you need to know how to raise your hand, if you'll go to reactions, there is a big button there that will allow you to raise your hand.
and chat's down at the bottom of the page that you can actually chat. You can type in something and we can unmute you for your comments.
I see Attorney Barry there, and he represents some of the residents of the area. You do have a Will Faring who would like to comment. So if you want to unmute him.
All right.
I see a Janice Faring. That must be him.
Yeah.
Let me find him. All right. Yes, to unmute. All right. I have asked him to unmute.
We're unmuted.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Okay, I guess mine is for the 2021 ordinance. If you'd consider maybe using some conditional use amendments versus permitted use when it comes to certain zoning. In my opinion, I think it would give the both the board and planning commission more authority and ability to better regulate zoning for the town. I sent that in via written comments on the Thursday before. I don't know if you guys had a chance to review that.
So
I've not seen them, Mr.
I haven't
Faring.
either. No, where did you send them to?
Yourself and Nate Wilson.
yeah, I saw them, and so what I understood is that the 2016 ordinance, in your opinion, had allowed more flexibility by having more businesses listed as conditional uses versus straight up acceptable uses.
That is correct.
So were there specific uses in specific zoning districts that you thought that made sense for?
Yes, I mean, in more than just one, but again, living close to the proposed area that has some zoning difficulties. C3 obviously is the one I'm concerned with. And in that, it gives you the permitted uses and then conditional uses. And in the paragraph for the conditional uses, it allows the determination to protect the public health, safety, and welfare. I just think it gives you more latitude in being able to, again, be discretionary instead of C3 is X, Y, and B, and that's all it is. So those are my comments for that.
All right. Any other comments?
One thing, Michelle, can you make sure that whenever you're allowing people to speak, that they are allowed to be, their faces are seen as well? I think it was Mr. Barry just asked, could the speaker also be allowed video?
I will, thought I had already tried to do that. Okay, sure will.
Okay, if we can. I mean, so yes, sir, we're taking care of that. Somebody's got their hand raised there.
Okay, Billy and Mary Best. All right. Raise your hand. Ask to mute. All right.
See if we can allow them to be on video as well.
I don't have that option.
Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do with this. We're going to make him a co-host just so we're going to allow y'all to be a co-host while you're speaking so we can see on video, and then we'll change that when you stop speaking. Okay, Mr. Bass?
Okay.
That work with y'all? It's the best way right now. It's working here. So you should be able to come on the video.
Okay. Anyway, hi, I'm William Best. I reside at 521 Lotzenhauser Place in Monteagle, Tennessee. And what I'm trying to clarify as far as legally, okay, so we're going back to the 2016 map. But in essence, are we considered adopting a new map since we're getting rid of the map that we were going by? You know, are we adopting a new map even though it's a previous map?
Mr. Best, what this is an effort to clean things up is maybe the best way to characterize this. We had things that we had situations where there may have been a zoning ordinance passed where it did not show up on the map. So this is an effort to update the map through today. And you'll note that the map as it exists, it's the area where the proposed truck stop is. There's got a little hatched area that indicates that that's under litigation. We've not gotten a final order on that yet. So there'll be a change on the map pretty immediately after there is a final order in the litigation. But more than anything else, this is an effort to take the 2016 map, I guess, and update it to the current situation based on zoning ordinances that have been validly passed.
Okay, but we have adopted the 2018 map in the past.
Illegally, wasn't it?
Illegally or legally, it was adopted. My question is then, now that we are adopting a new map, is there a change in the map?
There's lots of changes but they're changes back to what it was before. That 2018 map had changes that we're still finding. I just realized my whole neighborhood got rezoned in that 2018 map. So by reverting back to the 2016 map, we're trying to build that consistency back in and allow zoning to happen on a by ordinance basis. Is that fair?
Yeah, the map is supposed to be reflective of zoning ordinances that have passed since the last adoption of the map. And we have found in our review that that just wasn't the case. So we've got to start somewhere. And so what we're doing is we've tried to update the map from 2016 as best we can based on the information that we have. And there may be another tweak or two. But what this is an effort to catch the map up to zoning ordinances that have been passed in the last 3 or 4 years.
Right, and maybe I'm just not framing my question right. What I'm asking then is that there was a map that was adopted, and we've decided not to use that map, whether the court, ordered that or what may be. But now the city is going to adopt a new map, whether it be the 2016 map, a 2021 map. We've gone from using one map to we will be now using a new map.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why.
So now that we're going to go to a new map, whether it be one that had previously existed or one that is going to be completely brand new, the old one with some tweaks, which is not the old one, it's a new one then, it's going to be changed. I'm wondering if the Planning Commission or the council, either one, has taken consideration on the preservation of the character of existing developments while doing this. Because the homes, I'm here, of course, talking about the RBT property. There's probably going to be some other properties, like Nate said, they're going to be discussed at some point in time in this, but the homes are already here, and in taking this map into consideration, I think that the ordinances the city has needs to also take into account that the effect that it's going to have on surrounding properties, regardless of the zoning that it had been previously, that it should be taken consideration now if we're going to adopt a new map.
We're not going back to change that. If you go back to the 2016, which I think that a couple of folks went and saw it, it was because of the codification consultants through MTAS is the reason we chose to go back to 2016. That was a map we know was good. Now we found 34 errors plus 4 other properties. We're going to have to address individually 3 other properties besides the RBT in your situation there that have been done incorrectly.
Right.
So
my point is that it's not good. There are changes that need to be made to that map.
The 2018, but not the 2016.
Well, I think you're right. And I think all of us, the mayor included and council, we all agree that there are further tweaks to the 2016 map. We've all talked about that, particularly given the downtown corridor plan. And
yeah, but that would be building, Nate.
And so we'll do those going forward. And I think that's what he's asking. That's what you're asking, right?
I'm not asking. What I'm saying is we're adopting a new map, and that 2016 map is not going to be adopted as it was in 2016. There are some admitted errors on that map as well.
No, there's not any. No. We're not admitting any errors on 2016. Okay. I don't know where that's coming from. The only errors we're admitting to is 2018 because they were done with a limited amount of time. Correct, Sam? We're correcting the errors from 16 to today.
To have any sort of change in the zoning ordinance, Mr. Best, we have to give a certain amount of time between notice and an actual public hearing like we're done today. And we went back and reviewed, and some of the ordinances passed purporting to rezone properties, in fact, did not give that requisite amount of public hearing time. That's what happened in the property that was involved in the lawsuit. So we're trying to just go back, and now all we know to do is just to start over and go back and fix it. And that's what we're trying to do here.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is in taking the 2016 map and using it as we go forward, in essence, you are still adopting a new map. We're taking one away and we're bringing another one in legally. So if we're adopting a new map, then I would think that at this point in time, we could take into consideration the changes that have been made to the area and changes that have been made to the ordinance since that period of time. And I would like for the council to take in consideration the preservation of the character of the existing developments that are in the area. You can say that we bought property next to a commercial piece of property. We could expect that to be developed. That's arguable on our side. It probably will be getting argued. Either way, at this point in time, the houses are already here. The homes are here. So I would like for the fact that as you guys move forward, that if you're going to take a look at, if you're going to adopt a new map, then you need to take a look at whether or not there's proper use being exercised or being granted for these certain pieces of property regardless of the zoning. But you do have the power to change that zoning. Or you do have the ability at least to deny the use of that property if it's detrimental to the surrounding properties. In our case, we feel like it is. So I would ask you to take that in consideration as you move forward.
Thank you. Anyone else want to make a comment on either the map or the ordinance? Anyone else? I believe that we've had our public hearing, Madam Mayor, if no one else is indicating a desire to speak.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn the public hearing? Oh, wait 1 second, excuse me. I was just told that we have to vote. What are we voting on, Debbie? In the public hearing? So, okay.
What?
She's saying we vote on the ordinances in the public hearing. I thought we were voting on them in the meeting. So
Yeah, I thought you did too. I don't.
she said the meeting. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It goes in the meeting, we vote on, correct, Sam? We
Yes.
just closed the public hearing. Yes,
Yeah.
so do I hear a motion?
Both should be voted on under old business, Mayor.
Yes, and we're gonna keep you on here. We're gonna start another meeting and we're gonna take about a 5-minute break after this one ends and start a few minutes late, but that way anybody needs a break, they're going to.
And then I'm going to go ahead and make that same announcement at the first of the regular meeting that I did with the public hearing.
Okay, well, do I hear a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to adjourn public hearing.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Has to be a roll call vote, Madam Mayor.
Roll call.
Yes, ma'am.
Nate Wilson,
Yes.
Jessica Favaloro,
Yes.
Doreen Parmley,
Yes.
and then now it's Marilyn Rodman, yes. So we can now adjourn the public hearing. Let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll come back and we'll start the Monteagle Council meeting January 25th, 2021. Okay?
Iva, do you have the ordinances to screen share when we start the meeting back up again?
I do.
Okay, I was just checking.
Yep, I thought it was. And see,
I'm gonna go get some more coffee.
yeah, I am too. So I'll be back in just a minute. We'll start this one. Yeah. And here's the other thing, though. Yeah. Now we need to start that machine so they can use it. All right, she's going to set the machine up.
Hey, Nate.
Yo,
Filet.
delay?
Filet mignon.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Cajun trail mix from Walmart.
Mhm.
These two things are not the same.
Mine's better.
Hey, Nate, have the students come back over at the university yet?
They are beginning to filter back in. They've got the testing regime. They're testing everybody as they come in and quarantining them. So I think the first batches arrived yesterday, maybe. And they'll be coming in between now, this whole week. And then classes will start on Monday.
Oh. So
Are they going
strange.
Go ahead. Are they gonna let them off campus?
They may, particularly as the
Yes.
semester progresses, because they're testing all in-house now. The university has its own lab, so they can test more frequently, cheaper.
Can you go on Facebook, Deb? Can you go on Facebook? Yeah. Okay, we're trying to get the employees set up to where they can come to the other machine and they can do their reports. So hold on one second. Oh. See if I can do it. You're okay. I think you can get them up.
Trying to find a better background picture. I've got some seriously boring pictures.
I can't figure out how to change mine.
So go to go to video and video settings
Where's
and background.
All I've got is mute, stop video. Do I go to more?
No, see right above stop video to the right, there's a little caret.
Yeah,
Click on that.
okay.
Go to video settings.
It's not giving me video settings. It's going to select a camera, FaceTime camera, or same as this.
Video settings are all the way down at the bottom.
I'm giving it to you.
What?
No,
What have you? So what are your options?
FaceTime HD camera and same as system.
Oh, so you've got to go. There is somewhere else you've got to go to enable virtual backgrounds. Have you got a general settings, advanced, somewhere in there? Let's see.
Okay. Then we'll let you-
I had to do that. Hang on, let me help you find it here.
Hey, Town of Monteagle, Deb. Michelle
Yeah.
Green, you have to do it with the meeting off.
should have just got invited to join.
Who
Did you
did?
see that?
Yeah, I put her in. Town
Okay,
Money. Yep.
you're good.
Does she need video or does she want video?
Yeah, she needs video. They need video because that's where the department heads are going to be.
Oh, with Debbie? Okay. All right, let me find her.
Yep. She's going to be there and then we'll start this meeting, but
I just put myself in the woods.
Are you in the woods?
okay. It's now, we'll wait 2 minutes, then we'll start since,
I don't see you, Nate.
Uh-oh, did I disapparate? You are.
yeah, you did. You disappeared, Nate.
You're going to go put that banana hat thing on, ain't you?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
There we
that's
go.
pretty. Look at that. I'm once again in the lovely Monteagle Inn.
Good.
Wow.
And I'm at Monteagle Town Hall with a new virtual background. So, all right. It is, well, we got 1 minute to go.
Yeah, Doreen, next time you're not logged in, go to your Zoom profile, log into Zoom, and in the
Under our
settings
business.
there, you can enable virtual background.
Okay.
I had forgotten because I tried to do the same thing you did. I tried to add it while I was in a meeting. It won't do it.
Hey, council, while you're engaging conversation, under old business, add the 2 ordinances in which we just discussed because they had understood they would be voted on in a public hearing, but no, we don't vote on those in public hearings. So, which is the numbers are 02-21, which is the map. And then you've got 03, which is the 2021 ordinances for the town of Monteagle. Okay. And it is now 6:10. So we're going to call the Monteagle City Council meeting on January the 25th, 2021 meeting to order. Okay. Jessica? Babalara?
Here.
Okay. Would you say the prayer, please?
Yes. Father God, we're grateful that you've given us a chance to work for our little town and for all the people that live here. We ask your blessings continue to come upon us and give us all insight that we need. Amen.
Amen.
Mayor, can I make my announcement now?
Yes, you can. Sorry.
Okay. By designating this meeting as one being done by electronic means. The governing body of the town, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, have determined that conducting the meeting by electronic means is necessary to protect the public health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. And appropriate notice has been given by electronic means and by posting notices all over town as to how to access this meeting, and also that the members of the council will be conducting their business by electronic means. That's it, Mayor.
Okay. Nate, would you lead us in the pledge? Do you mind?
Yes, but which way do we point for the flag?
I have it flagged. Hold on. I had it to. That answers the right Nate way, Nate. The right.
Let's see if this works with your virtual background. Oh, it does work. All right.
Wait a minute, let me find it. Here, where is it at?
No, it's going to be in front of you or it's going to disappear.
Okay, there you got it.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of the United
of the United
States
States of America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for
for
which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, the first thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes from December the 28th, 2020, and our special meeting on January the 18th, 2021. Council?
I make a motion to approve them.
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion?
Has to be by roll call.
Okay. Nate?
Yes.
Doreen?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Myself? Yes. Okay. So now we're gonna, who wants to come in? Jack, police report, please. If you'll come over here and sit down at this other computer, we'll put you on Zoom. Is Jack in there? Yeah, he's coming in. We have the department heads in the other room. If you'll go sit down in that chair, you're sitting over there. We're going virtual with you. You may have to move.
We're on Facebook.
Pardon?
Make sure we're on Facebook Live. Is that on?
It should be. I sent for it to be on a moment ago.
We've had a question whether we could put the agenda on the screen or publish it.
I can put it on the screen. Is that what you want?
That would be good. Somebody's made that inquiry.
All right.
Yeah, Michelle, we need to put the ordinances on there too. Yeah,
That's
the two ordinances will go out of business.
there was a beer board.
Okay, she's getting those on. Share to newsfeed, share to group.
It's going pretty slow. I can tell you that much.
And you've got, don't you have fiber there? Sorry,
I'm really
folks.
not sure. Yeah, Debbie sent all of this to me in one lump sum, so I have to scroll.
Mhm.
Next time I won't do that.
Okay. And we're work in progress.
Here's a minute. Work in progress.
Hopefully we're gonna have yeah, there it is. It's
It's here.
Michelle.
There we go. Is it coming?
Yeah, it's live. We're live on Facebook too, because I'm seeing that. So, and we've got the Oh, minutes, there. Okay. All right, Jack, please report, please, sir. We may have to move that now, Michelle, so you can't have them both at the same time, Jack's. We can't see Jack, so.
Okay. I'm still in this, yeah. Sorry. Is there a better way to do this?
I think we're gonna have to take this down and put it up between reports.
Okay.
Jack's sitting over here patiently.
All right.
All right, Jack. All right. Wait a minute, she's gonna put you on the screen just a second. She's gotta put you up.
All right. Town of Monteagle. Oh, she's going to put her. Okay. Because she's ready to go. She should be.
Does he have to click something?
Yeah, he's got to move the video down. He's got to bring it down. There he is. Yeah, there we go.
They're gonna put a book under it, but we have to work on technology there to find him.
Okay, that's the one. Okay, the police reports for this month, we've had one evading arrest, one larceny theft, one DUI, one simple assault, one vandalism, one burglary, one drug related, one trespass. We've got 2 investigations and 8 vehicle accidents, which those are minor. Had 14 citations. The city ordinance citations, we have had 3 issued this month. I'd also like to recognize Mike Kilgore. He done on 110 of this year. He recovered $13,360 worth of stolen property. That is with the help of a citizen.
Good job.
Job on my case. I think the mayor was going to speak about the crossing guard. Is that correct?
Yeah, you need to explain to them again what we had talked about.
As far as posts, with David Meeks, it is a liability for the city per post. They have up the hours to 80 this year as for reserve. And what it is, the part-time required to have the same certification as full-time officer now. And it's possibly a liability on the police department.
No, you're talking a reserve program, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
So,
And that's where the reserve program is now. We have discussed this. We have decided to cut that program.
well, that's what you said you wanted to do. And of course, with the board can vote on that because I'd rather the board vote on it, but you can tell them there that you had wanted to just stop the program. Not that we had, you only have one person you said involved, correct?
Right. I just have one person involved in the reserve program right now.
So do y'all have any questions about the reserve program?
Okay,
First?
David was the only one that was in the reserve program. And they're wanting more hours for the reserved officer. And David does not want to do that, right?
No, that's not.
No, he said that he would be willing to do that, but it is he does have a concern about the 80 hours. That's a lot of hours.
Right.
But post is, he has to have the certification as a regular officer now, and he doesn't have that. And that's where the liability issues come in.
And be compensated for that if he's a reserve officer? Did you tell me that y'all couldn't compensate a reserve officer?
No. If he's a reserve, he does his own.
Okay. So, and Jack is wanting to do away with the reserve police department.
Yes.
I think you gave him an option, didn't you tell me? Did he want to stay as a reserve, non-paid, because he was the only one, or did he want to stay as crossing guard and then that could be discussed? Is that what you told me?
He said that he wanted to stay as crossing guard. He said he'd be willing to, stay.
Okay, so I'm good with that.
Well, we'll discuss that in a minute too, because, do we want to make, do y'all want to make a formal motion? Since the chief are you making the recommendation that it just be stopped for right now, that we omit that program? Chief?
The reserve program?
Yes.
Yes, I would like to cut that out.
So,
I think Nate wants to talk, but he's muted and he can't unmute himself.
okay. Michelle, can you see if I'm muted?
Absolutely.
Hey, what did you do to yourself? Okay.
How did you do that, Nate? All right,
He
participant.
can't tell you because he's muted.
Ah, that's cute. All right, let me find him.
I can see him.
All right, Nate.
We get this by the time we're done. There he is. I just asked to unmute him. Surely he did it.
There we go. Thank
There
you.
we go.
Sorry, a kid came up and asked me a question and I muted myself to not be a distraction, and I guess I can't unmute myself. So David is not post-certified. And I guess what I don't understand, or I'm not clear on yet, is does he not want to get post-certified, or is it too expensive for the town to get him post-certified? Which of those two is true?
If he is post-certified, he will have to go through the academy.
Okay, so
Becomes-
it's not a matter of just some continuing education, or it's a big.
You become a police officer.
Right, it's just a pretty big deal.
Okay, I thought he had been a police officer, and maybe this had to do with continuing education, but okay.
Okay. So we're back to that. The chief had offered him the opportunity to either be reserve, which is non-paid, and they just are in the reserve program. He's the only individual in it. However, requirements are going up. And I think you found this out from your training officer. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct.
And then, or if he wanted to continue just being the cross guard, doing no reserve work, no transportation, nothing, which is a totally different situation. We did at the last workshop discuss taking the van and putting amber lights on it because they cannot use blue lights but that's the crossing guard. So first and foremost, Chief, again, I'm going to ask you, so for the record, do you want to keep the reserve program or not? That's okay.
I'm gonna keep the reserve program.
Okay, so y'all heard the chief. Does anyone have any questions for the chief about the reserve program? Then we'll deal with the crossing guard as a separate issue. So,
No, it sounds like
Thank
with
you.
the reserve program going away, there is not a position at Town of Monteagle at the police department that David is qualified. And so, is that right? I just make sure I'm understanding everything.
He will be qualified for a crossing guard.
well, that doesn't require qualifications, does it?
That doesn't require-
But that'll be through the Town of Monteagle rather than through the police department. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
okay.
So can we, do we hear a motion based upon the recommendation of the chief and of the requirements that post is now requiring police officers to have to stop the reserve program for now?
Do we have to repeat all that?
Debbie's been making notes, so, and we're recording it.
I will make the motion to do away with the Reserve Police Department on the recommendation of Police Chief.
Okay. Do we
I
have a
will
second?
second that.
All right, all in favor?
Wait, no, roll call.
Oh, do we have to roll call? All right, roll call. Doreen,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Nate,
Yes.
me, yes. Okay, roll call.
Mayor,
the
just for
next
future
is-
reference,
Yes.
in these electronic meetings, every vote has to be a roll call.
Okay, thank you, sir. And we do need to get the information that you have to read before we start a meeting. We'll get that from you tomorrow.
Mhm.
So with electronic meetings. Okay. Next will be the crossing guard. And of course, we had discussed this. We discussed the hours. Currently, the position that Mr. Meeks held is being paid $800 a month. For crossing guard, Chief, how many hours do you think it is per week? And then I think
He gets roughly about 10 hours per week.
10. So he said, the chief's saying 10, which is 40 hours. I did talk to Mr. Meeks briefly, and he said it was between, I think he said 40 or 60. There is no contract here. I'm just letting y'all know what I found out, okay? There is no contract. Currently at 40 hours, that's $20 an hour if you're doing crossing guard. I did talk to the school tonight because it was brought to my attention that they were going to the basketball games. But I spoke both with the superintendent of Marion County School, Mark Griffin, and he said they do not require anyone there because we have a police department here and we have police they can call. And he said the chief sometimes checks in on the ball games. Do y'all still do that, Chief? Whenever you have a ball game?
Yeah, every once in a while.
And you can do that. He said that's the reason they do not hire anyone to do that. And I also spoke with the principal of Monteagle School, and she had never requested that. She said that she understood it was a volunteer position because they had children or grandchildren at the school. So with that being said, do we want to continue to pay the $800 per month for the 40 hours per month position? And just during school, from what I understand, for some reason it was paid for 12 months, and school months are only what, August through May? Is that correct if they're not virtual? So what's the discussion? What's the thoughts of the board?
So Jack, when he was a reserve officer, what else was he doing beyond school guard?
He would help us out with transports if we were having trouble with a county unit, or if we were tied up and we couldn't do a transport. He was a huge asset for that.
But we can't do that anymore.
That's
gone.
Do you have an idea of how many hours per month he was doing those types of non-crossing guard duties?
That would be on occasion, just possibly 3 to 4 times a month.
So if it's 3 or 4 times a month and it took a couple hours each time, I'm just trying to get a sense of how much he was working before and versus how much he might be working now if we move him to school guard.
But if he goes to school guard, he's not going to be doing any transports. He would just be doing school zone primarily.
That's 10 hours a week.
Right.
As somebody, we've got a comment that says that a basketball official, an officer, is required at all basketball games, but that sounds like you did not find that out. Marilyn, you found different.
Mark Griffin, we called him tonight, didn't we, Debbie? And he said they do not require any officer there, and that's the Marion County. That's Marion County. I don't know, are they from Grundy or are they from Marion? This is what, we can get Mark Griffin on the phone if we need to.
No, well,
I'm just saying we can speak to the superintendent. Let's see, what school system is this? That's the person? I know, but I'm saying this person said, as a basketball official, what school? Let's just see what official they're with, because that's what the superintendent of the school told us this afternoon.
Let's do
I don't
this.
know. But see, he couldn't do it anyway. So if he's not an officer, he's going to be a school guard.
Right. Well, so what I'm thinking, Jack, would you say what he has been doing sounds like 40 hours a week for crossing guard duties and maybe 40 hours a month for crossing guard and maybe 20 hours a month for other reserve officer duties? Would that sound reasonable to what he was doing?
That sounds reasonable.
Because that comes out to that comes out to $13.30 an hour at 60 hours. And so if the new crossing guard duty were only a 40-hour a week job, that would come out to $532 a month at that same rate. I don't want to offer anybody less money to do the same thing. But at the same time, if there are fewer duties, then we ought to be paying according to the duties we're doing, it seems to me.
I agree. I just don't feel real comfortable discussing his wages on a public meeting, if you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, this is public record. There is no contract. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is not necessarily his. This came up today because
Yeah.
we did talk and he said he would not do the school crossing, and he said I could let the board know for any less than the 800 a month for the school crossing. And that at 40 hours, it averages up 20. At 60, it averages up what, Nate? I mean,
It's 60 hours a month. It's $13.30.
So can we pay him $15 an hour for ever how many hours he puts in? Is he going to be
probably goes and he said he'd work for what he's getting now is what he told me this afternoon to tell the board. Somebody raised their hand. I don't know. We're not open. Are they talking now?
I agree with you, Doreen. I don't like discussing wages either, but I don't know that there's any way we can do it.
Well, this is public record.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. The people's wages at the town are public record.
Okay.
So no, that's why I thought it's public record.
So he knows he's not going to be doing anything with the police department. He knows his hours are going to be cut. So can we offer $15 an hour and see if he will take it?
Is there a standard pay scale for the people that do crossing guard work? There must be some sort of a reference point.
Well, some do it as volunteers. Jack, do you know what the?
I don't know. We would have to call and get a
No, we'd have to get a rate to offer for so many hours per week. Or per month.
I think if we offer him $20 an hour, he has to punch a clock.
You're gonna pay somebody $20 an hour as contractor for school guard?
I'm just saying, Bill, that's what happens.
Well, that was the question I was about to ask. Are we talking about an employee here? Or are we talking about an independent contractor doing crossing guard duties at a?
He's an employee.
Okay. Just making sure.
He's an employee, so we're also paying payroll liabilities on that position.
Okay. So our costs are actually above that. We got to add, like, what is it, 33%, something like that?
I think it's 12.5% and it or 15 because we pay half and they pay half of it. So, and of course so here's the thing we need to decide, what are we going to pay and I've already talked to the chief. He said, well, if we were, could not pay that he, like other school systems, can take care of the school guard if we want to run the position. So again, I don't know, what do y'all want to do? I mean, we don't even pay a lot of our employees $20 an hour, y'all. So so you've got to look at what you're doing to other employees. I wasn't aware of it. I was told the former mayor made an agreement with him and that's the reason he did it, so, and like I tell him, it was brought to my attention, the program had to change. We weren't looking for this, but we're dealing with it now. So, and I told him we'd be discussing it tonight. And so.
How big a deal is it for you guys to take it over if the police take over that duty?
Well, I mean, it just depends on how busy the day is, what the call volume is. I mean, I don't have an issue with it, but there have been certain times, like over the years, that we've had to pull out of it and pull away from the school zone to answer a more serious call.
Do we have two people working during the week though, that one could be there and one could answer calls?
We do.
So you do have the backup there.
Right.
And I mean, are we paying our police officers $20 an hour? Okay. I mean, I don't know what they're making. I don't think y'all do either. We're new at this. We've had so many problems that we're going to plan on looking at this in February, but I'm just, for an employee. So board,
Again, I'm good at 15 an hour. If he'll take that, if not, I think we can post a job or ask for volunteers, whatever we got to do.
I
So
agree.
yeah, I like having him there. I like saying good morning to him every morning. I would say that based on Jack's idea that it's about 40 hours a month, I would suggest we offer him $550 a month to do just the crossing guard duty. I think that hits Doreen just about where you're aiming.
Right.
I guess my feeling is for that, the time is going to be variable on that. Some days it's probably going to go more quickly than others. And rather than have to punch a time clock, I would just offer him that as a monthly stipend, which I understand is what he's getting now. Is that correct, Jack?
Yes.
but now that's during school time, right? Not 12 months a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
this is August through May, correct? Is this,
Yes.
Right.
you're saying to offer him $550 an hour, August through May, and he won't clock in and out, or the school zone, morning and evening.
did you say 550 an hour?
No,
$550 a month, I'm sorry.
a month to do that.
I'm just making notes, so, and we're also, Deb, did you get that? All right, do we have a motion to make this offer to him as, and he would be the employee of the school, and if not, we'll post it, we'll post the position for that, because,
Yeah, and in the meantime, sounds like Jack can cover it, and we can get a sense of how sustainable that is, if he chooses not to take it.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Roll call? Yes, I second.
Are we going to do it by roll call?
Yeah,
Gotta
we
do it
have
by
to.
roll call.
We'll start with you, Jessica.
I'm in favor of doing that.
Doreen,
Yes.
Nate,
Yes.
myself, yes. All right, we'll make the offer to him tomorrow and we'll see how it goes. We'll report accordingly. Okay. All right. Jack, do you have anything else? All right.
I will get the, I spoke with you about the lights and the van. I'll get
Okay.
those over tomorrow.
Yeah, and you want to tell them? So,
What we're gonna do is we're gonna use the city van. We're gonna put the orange, has lights inside of it, the front and back. That way they will have a lighted vehicle due to some of the fog, because sometimes the fog is a major issue here in the city. And I want, everyone to be safe.
Sounds good.
and they did. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate it. Fire department, do you have their report? Can you hand it to me? Garen said they cannot be here tonight because he's in training. I did talk to him. I'm gonna go ahead and read. He said January 2021, he said he had 2 structured fires. He had 3 lift assists. He had 1 landing zone, no commercial structures, no brush fires, 1 mutual aid, 0 traffic control, 3 vehicle fires, 2 other causes, it says, 1 gas spill and leak, 1 alarm, 14 total paid calls. I'm reading the report the way it looks. He and I did talk about this for a while tonight. We're going to talk more about how they're reporting and what they're doing. He said, starting right now, the 64-hour class for January the 25th to March the 1st, basic fireman training has begun. So he's not here tonight. So, and you have any questions? It's just, here's his, wait a minute, let me see. It goes right in front of me. Is that right? Can y'all see that?
You have disappeared, girl.
Yeah. Well, they told me I had to put in front of my face for the virtual reality. Hey, we're learning about Zoom. You'll get better with time. So anyway, so there's the report from the fire chief tonight. Okay. 911, Wanda, you're next. I said, I feel like we're in a waiting room here. They are in a holding room. As y'all know, Miss Wanda will be retiring this week. And she's going to go ahead and report. Is Heather here too?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll get Heather to come in because we'll tell you what the 911 board recommended and we can make a decision on that. Yeah, you're right there, Wanda.
Whenever you're ready.
She's there. Have you got her unmuted? She's ready.
Town of Monteagle should be ready to go.
There you go. See if they can hear you.
Good.
Here?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can hear.
Okay.
Well, the only thing I have to report is that the 29th is my last day. And Heather Fultz, or Heather Smart, is gonna be taking my position.
Well, after we vote on it.
Well, yeah, we not vote on it, so, but that, you know, that's who I want to take my position anyway. And I've enjoyed working, a lot of yous I've not worked with, and some of yous I've known Doreen ever since I started here and everything, and I appreciate everything y'all done.
Heather, do you want to come in?
That's a lot of dedication to the town.
We're hoping she'll fill in for him for a while. Heather, you want to come up? What, just to let y'all know, as Heather comes in here, I did talk to the 911 directors because it is a joint partnership, as y'all know. And we did post the job and it closed what was the date it closed? It was last Monday. The only application we did receive was Heather, but she was also the one recommended not only by Wanda, but by the 911 board and director. And this is Heather's at the machine. So Heather Falls Smart is now sitting in front of the computer. If y'all want to ask her any questions or anything before because she's our employee. So we would have to vote on the interim position. It is an interim position that we'd be voting on tonight. Heather?
First of all, let me tell Fluff, thank you.
Oh,
You're welcome, thank you.
yeah, we appreciate you. Heather, you can just talk into the machine.
Nate's muted again.
Hey, he's talking to his kids, I think. Oh, does he want to be unmuted?
Nate,
Heather, I was gonna.
Uh-oh, he's muted again.
What is he
he's
doing?
got to take away his button.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Hold on, unmute him again, Michelle.
I did. He's got to do it himself. There we go.
All right, I was trying to be smart, and you see where it got me.
Don't.
We can't hear the people in the town of Monteagle, Heather, but if you go over to near the mute button, but don't hit the mute button, and hit the caret next to the mute button and go to audio settings, you can turn your speaker up. And that's what I was trying to do, was be smart and tell somebody how to do it, but I keep muting myself.
Okay.
You see that caret next to the mute button?
Carrot.
Hold on, I'm gonna go over there and see because she's in the same room with me. I'll check it out. Y'all keep
Hit
talking.
audio, then hit audio settings, and you can turn the sensitivity up on the mic so we can hear everybody.
Screen's not very good, is it? Man, we need a new computer here. This is, you can't even see it.
That's why you get what, not recorder.
Once you hit audio settings, it says microphone input level, and you can turn that up.
You see, Nate, the computer screen's going out. We're using the computer that was here, and here, come over here, Heather. Never mind. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna share my laptop. I have my laptop over here. Here. Yeah, we're gonna share the love. I'm gonna move the screen so y'all can see Heather. Here's Heather. Okay.
Hey,
There you go,
Heather,
Heather.
I'm sorry to complicate things. Yes, we can hear you well now. That's good.
I have a question. I've never really understood how our town that has 3 different counties, how the 911 dispatches people from Grundy 911 to the other counties.
Okay, it just determines on what traffic that we have for that other county. If it's a fire or something that needs immediate attention, we go ahead and send the fire department to the appropriate area. If it's for an ambulance or something like that, we go ahead and send the ambulance to that area, and then we notify that county.
So there's no delay in getting a message to the right people if,
Marion County dispatches to y'all is what she's asking.
Oh, no.
No, here's, so let her explain to her how Marion County dispatches to them. It's a little different. Here, that's what she's asking.
Okay, so if we get a call in Marion County, they automatically transfer the call to us, and then we answer the call and we send out the appropriate personnel.
So we're not waiting, if you live in Marion County, you're not waiting for someone to come from Jasper to
No,
take care of
no,
it.
Unless you're in the corporate city.
unless you're in, like the Marion County coverage area. For Marion County, or outside
the
of it.
city.
Yeah,
Outside the city
Yeah.
limits is what she's saying.
yeah, outside the city.
And so if y'all in Grundy receive a Marion call, do y'all do the same thing? Do y'all
Yes,
pass
sir.
it directly to Marion?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
But that's our corporate city limits, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm. So,
I
does,
don't have
you want Doreen?
I don't have any questions for Heather.
All right. Y'all have a report for us tonight? I didn't have a report. They'll have a report the next time. Anyway, the recommendation has been made by the 911 board and by the leaving director that Heather becomes the interim director and the TAC officer for 911. And she's certified and qualified and trained to do all these things.
And
No,
she,
And you have been with 911 for how long?
It's been a while.
Is it 14 years? You know?
you will be a town of Monteagle employee, is that correct? Rather than a.
Until July 1st, yes.
Yeah, until July 1st.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. She'll just be moving up to the position that Wanda had, and then we still have Russell, which is a town of Monteagle employee, if you look at, because out of our direct payroll, I mean, all of them are paid through us. And then the new dispatcher, which will be moving in from a part-time position, is just an admin dispatcher, will be a town of Monteagle employee. Those three will be ours until July, until July 1st. I'm sorry, Earl, but it's part of the program. Anyway, so do we have a
I'd like
motion?
to hire Heather as our 911 director.
Interim director, please.
Director, sorry.
Okay. Okay. All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Jessica Favalaro. All right, roll call vote. Nate?
Yes.
Lorraine?
Yeah.
Jessica?
Yes.
Yes, for me. So it's all in favor. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or thanks for Heather? She's sitting here with me.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay. All right. Parks and Rec, as y'all know, we all met with the Dixie Lee Youth Program. We do have 3 or 4 people who are really exciting, and they're planning on starting the program, the baseball, softball program. It will start this Thursday from 5 to 7 with signups. That'll continue for 2 weeks, both on Thursdays and on Saturdays. And they're developing their board from a Miss Melton, a Mr. Gibson, a Mr. Merle, and a Mr. Casey. They've all been involved before. So we have a really exciting program, and we're hoping that we can really get it going. The Booster Club has agreed to do a contract to take the concession stand, and all these folks were agreeable with it. And they will both stock and, of course, run the concession stand for the funds that they make this year. So does anyone have any comments, suggestions, or complaints about those things? So
If you'd like to sign up for baseball or softball or sign your kids up, I just put the link to the registration form in the chat box.
okay, all right.
And it's Dizzy,
Pardon?
it's Dizzy Dean.
Yes. Sorry, which one did I say? So it's Dizzy's eating program. And you do have do you have that online as well, Nate? This
Yes,
one?
I'm assuming somebody put it on that abomination Facebook.
No, it'll go on. It'll go on tomorrow morning.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all right. And then, of course, something else that
12 people signed up.
Sweet. So I don't really think there's no reason in voting on that. So we'll move to the next item on the agenda unless y'all want to vote on something, unless y'all got something else to bring up there. So, council?
No.
Nope, all good.
All right, let's go to codes enforcement. Earl? Do you want to have a report or anything you want to report on?
Well, just a couple of things that I probably later on the agenda. I've got been approved that y'all will need to vote on. Not sure if those people are part of the virtual here tonight or not, but Debbie has those. One of them is Hometown Boutique, and I saw that a minute ago when y'all were scrolling through the agenda product. That's been approved, and also I think it's Oates and Oliver. It's a little place down there by the Mountain Goat that we had an issue in the past with two businesses being in the same building. That has been resolved, and their business permits I have approved those. Outside of that, if anybody has any other questions about anything, I'll be glad to try to address those.
Well, Dana's on here tonight, and we have, what are the business permits? Let's look at our package, folks, when we've got Earl here.
Those are the two permits, it looks like.
Hometown Girl.
Is, hey, Michelle, can you ask Dana to unmute and you may have to get her to co-host so we can see her.
Let's see. Let me find Dana. Dana's iPad asked to unmute. All right. And asked to start video.
Okay.
All right, so she should be ready to go.
Dana.
Yes, what a surprise, right?
Yeah, you're not Dana. This is one of the owners of the,
Hey, Dana.
what is it, Hometown Boutique? Do you want to tell us about your business? We got your license, and introduce yourself to the council if they don't know you there, Freddie.
Freddie and Dana Harris, been in Monteagle. Dana has lived in Monteagle all her life, following in her father's footsteps as a business owner. And the business is currently operating in Tracy City on Collier Street, right past Citizens Tri-County Bank. We have moved into Dr. J. Trussler's, a vacant end of his building in the old Monteagle Winery. And based on approval tonight in the meeting, our grand opening, we're planning to open February 5th, which is a Friday, with a grand opening celebration on February the 6th, if we are approved.
Jessica, I'm gonna start with you. Do you have any questions for Freddie?
No, I haven't been in your store, but I have seen people that have bought things there and they're adorable.
My wife's responsible for that.
Doreen?
I have no questions. Earl's approved it, so I'm good.
Nate?
I'm good.
They have some sweet things, Jessica. I bought a couple of things in Colas too. They have some really cute items. So we welcome you. So do we have a motion to approve Hometown Boutique from Dana and Freddie Harris? And the location's correct. Earl's approved it.
I'll make the motion to approve the license for Hometown Girl Boutique.
I'll second it.
Well, let's start all over. Nate? Roll call. Roll call.
Oh, roll call. Yes.
Doreen?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Myself, yes. So, all right. And then the next one is that Maddie Oaks? Is that correct? Is she on? Oaks and Oliver's, are they on, Michelle? Well,
All right, I believe so. Oaks.
okay.
Andy. All right, here we go. I'm going to ask her to unmute and to start video. All right, she should be ready to go.
Hi, I'm Mandy Oaks. Me and my husband Oliver own Oaks and Oliver's right behind Mountain Goat Market on Laurel Lake Drive, and we had a temporary permit until we resolved an issue of the landlord had part of her business still in here at one point in time. So now that she's out, Earl came by, walked through our building with us, and so we were here to seek approval for our permanent business license approval.
Nate, do you have any questions?
Nope. Sounds good to me.
Doreen?
No. Enjoy browsing in the store, though.
Thank you.
No.
Jessica?
I have no questions, and I love your store too.
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, it's really cute. We've been in there a couple of times. We plan on coming back. So now let's go back to the other part of business. Do we have a motion to approve Oaks and Oliver's LLC?
I'll make a motion to approve Oliver's, Oaks and Oliver's LLC business license.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Doreen?
Yes.
Roll call vote. Jessica?
Yes.
Nate?
Yes.
Okay, and myself, yes. So there's 4, roll call vote. Okay, so those 2 are done. Thank you, Earl. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you, Dana and Freddie. We look forward to your businesses, and we will move on to the next item. Utilities. John, you'll come over here and sit beside me since you're going to use this computer. Now, the utility director. I'll put you on the screen here. There you are. Here's John.
Go.
Okay. Right, do you have a report for the folks? Is our engineers?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Is Travis still here?
Yeah.
All right, we do have the engineer here. We'll bring him in a minute and he can talk to us about what he's been doing with their grants and where we're going. But who all has questions for John? Here he is. Council.
What's the deal on the water tower? Anything?
It fell over.
Did it?
You mean on the water tanks?
Yeah.
We're having a meeting Wednesday at 2:00. The guy that done the man over the inspection, he's coming up here Tuesday, but he's gonna meet us at 2:00 up here.
Us being you and Travis?
And Marilyn and whoever else wants to come.
I think that is Angela going to try to make it?
She's gonna try.
We have a
yeah.
TDOT person also that we've worked with from the Chattanooga office that, well, I haven't seen her in several years, but John works with her quite closely. She's going to try to come. So he's supposed to 2:00 on Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's where we'll figure out what the priorities are, sort of which.
Yeah, he'll explain what needs to be done and, like the wet well out to the plant, but I was talking to Travis. He gives some ideas on it too, so we'll just have to see what they say Wednesday.
Okay.
I don't have anything.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like we'll all wait for that meeting and see if we can learn something.
Well, maybe, and like I say, he can give the pricing and, what procedures they go through with it, and they got different contracts they can set up, I think he told me, for the city, so we just have to wait and see what they say.
But it sounds like from what you've said before, the well is priority number 1, and then the tanks need maintenance after that. Is that?
Yeah, according to what I see, the wet well at the water plant's pretty bad shape. Travis was looking at it, and he also thought the same thing, but we just have to go with, I guess what you call money wise, and see what we can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
if y'all have any more questions for John, if not, we'll get Travis to come over here and he can give us a report on what he's been working on and what he's sort of advised John and where we're at. If that's all right.
Okay.
Okay, we'll switch to.
Thank y'all.
Yep.
I know we'll get another screen working. That computer just died. Did you see that? That's crazy. What it did to him? Okay.
Is that what this plug is?
Yeah, that's what that plug was for. Yeah. Of course, this is Travis.
Any questions? I guess I'll update you first on the grants. I emailed the engineering report to Sam with the development district today, or yesterday, 1 or 2, late last night or early this morning. So that should be in, and I think he will have to put that report with the application. They'll do their part and send that in. And my understanding is they have extended the deadline for those applications to give some time for the information to come in, but that should be all that we're lacking. So pending any comments from Sam, then we should be good to go on the CDBG grant application as of right now.
And how long does that take after the application's been turned in if we get approved?
Typically, they will review the applications sometime in April, March or April. And depending on the COVID situations, a lot of the state folks are working remotely at home. And so I'm this past year that affected the schedule of how they reviewed that. And so that got pushed down into the summer. I'm sure that's a likelihood with this as well, but sometime in May typically would be a good average that we should hear back and get information on the rankings and how we qualified and if we would qualify for the grant. So sometime around May, I would think we should know something.
And at that point, we'd be asked to submit a full proposal. Is that?
Once we receive the list, will come out with the ranking that will show if we meet the criteria and qualify for the grant, and then we will have until the fall, maybe August, September range, to sign papers and execute documents and decide if this is something that the town would like to proceed with. So there'll be a couple of months period that we'll have time to discuss the grant and the requirements and the project and that type of thing before any decision is made.
And so the project you submitted was that sewer line project that we spoke about several months ago?
That is correct. And we also have, as part of that, the ARC grant fund, which would cover that project as well. And so we actually have 2 grants for that project just because of the cost, and we really don't know the exact scope as of yet. And so, between the 2, we're hoping we can get at least one of those. And if we're lucky enough, we get both of them. And then we can, depending on where we stand at that time, we'll know more about the scope of the project and where we stand, and we will be able to discuss and make some decisions. But we're not liable or obligated until we sign the contract documents, which would be in the fall of the year, August, September timeframe.
Sounds good.
That one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the resolution.
Okay, while we're talking about that, can you hand me your resolution, Deb? Because I've got another grant I need to see. You can assist with these two fire grants. Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute too. While we're discussing this, there's a resolution 0121. Michelle, I think you do have that in your packet. It's for the sewer system improvement project.
You want it on the screen?
Yeah, let's go ahead and put it on the screen, but we have to, a resolution is approved with just one reading. And so, and I think all the council has it in their packet, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but that way everyone viewing it can look at it. And then if there's.
That's 221. All right, hold on.
0121.
Hey, Ivan, what you may be able to do as well, in the chat box, there's an icon that says file on the right-hand side. I think you can upload that whole packet and share it with everybody who's on this Zoom call. If you want to.
Well, all right.
Well, while she's doing that, define it.
This says ordinance. Is it supposed to be a resolution?
The one we have is a resolution 0121 Town of Monteagle 2021 Community Block Grant. Application's one I have.
That's what I have.
Do they have that? The ordinances are the other ones. This is a resolution. It says resolution number at the top.
I've got it up here.
All right, I'm going to put it in the, I have it in a different thing. Okay, let me share screen.
Yeah, it may be better for later. People have been asking about the agenda, and I've been trying to post the agenda, but I'm logged in on one email address and the agenda is another email address, and Zoom tells me that that is an error.
Yeah, we appear to have passed by old business where you were going to read your 2 ordinances.
Okay. No, we hadn't got there yet. We're still under committees. Sam?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we hadn't got, sorry.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just noticed that you're down on resolution 121 and that's in new business.
Well, we can, okay, she's got it up.
There we go.
That's okay. I mean, as
Okay.
long as the board is,
Well, it's because we got the engineer here is the reason why. He's here right now with the utility director. So this is the resolution for the block grant. So, of course, it needs one reading to approve it. Do we have a motion on resolution number 01-21 for the 2021 Community Development Block Grant application?
I make a motion that we approve that resolution.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion? All right, roll call vote. Doreen?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Nate?
Yes.
Myself? Yes. Okay. While we're still here with the utility manager, I received this information today, and that's the reason before he leaves, I was clarifying with him, he can assist us with this. I received this from a Shirley Pond. She works with Scott Desjardins and the congressman. And it's a fire prevention grant, an application that's just been released. It was actually released, the information, she said, the program is for fire prevention in high-risk target groups and areas. It says the Department of Homeland Security Act 2020 includes $355 million for assistance to firefighters grants, also for fire prevention programs and safety. $119.5 million will be awarded in the year of from 2020 grants. We have to go ahead and apply for this grant. The program will also award $35.5 million in strengthening communities and their fire prevention programs, improve firemen safety, health, and wellness. This was not released to them until after the 13th of 2021, and she sent it to us this afternoon. Travis has told us he could assist with community grants in these as well if we want to get him to assist the fire department and our community in applying for some of this grant money that's soon going to be released.
We need to apply for it today without a specific ask, or do we?
He just starts the process and then we'll report, right, Travis? He just starts the process with the fire department and with the council to get the community information where we can receive some of this funding. Shirley's fairly sure that we will receive some on the Grundy County side because of the location of Grundy County. So
there a match involved with it?
We don't know yet. It doesn't say. I don't see any stipulations of a match. I think it's more of an award is for the way I'm reading it. Sure can. Sure can.
Yeah, we can find out some information about it, and then to develop part of the application, I'll need to talk with the fire department and see what will apply. There's certainly, I'm sure, applications that we can receive. Some of the grant monies, we just need to detail out the criteria to fit. So.
And what I'm saying, this would just to be to start the process. Like I said, it wasn't released after the 13th of the month. She just sent it this afternoon. I didn't even know it till actually till I got here, and he said he was going to be here. So that's the reason I'm saying if we want him to start pursuing, you know, the process, we can find out what's entailed. But it's an award is what it says. So most awards, you just can receive a portion of the money. There's normally, Nate, as you know as well as I do, with those, there's no matching. It just may be a few $1,000s or it could be more, you know.
What we're looking for is not a approval to apply for the grant. It's approval to have Travis do the due diligence to get us ready to apply for the grant.
Yes, that's how because if we don't apply, we will miss the window of opportunity, you know, because we know that there'll be money coming down, not only from fire prevention and safety, but the COVID-19 and other things. And I think this is something that was released similar to that this quickly is what she's saying. So
why would we not do it?
Well, I don't know. I'm just letting you know. So if when Travis is working on it, we know that. So do we want to have him? Let's go ahead and do a motion if we do to pursue the process of the fire prevention grant with our fire department for the town of Monteagle. If y'all want to do it.
I say do it.
Well, do you want to put that in a motion for?
Sure, I do. I make a motion to have Travis start the process of the reward. Reward money for whatever.
Fire prevention, safety.
Fire prevention. There you go.
Send it to you, Travis. Put your number in there. I thought I had it in there. He's going to go. Do we have a second?
I'll be glad to second that.
Okay. Roll call. Nate?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Doreen?
Yes.
Myself? Yes. So.
I do have a question related to it. Travis, did we ever get under a contract with you? I know when you spoke to us before, we hired you to help us get this CDGB grant and the ARC grant in, and you've done that, and I thank you. Have we gotten a contract so that we can look at it and see what sort of define better our relationship with you as a consultant?
I have not submitted a proposal yet. I've done all the work, but I can get a proposal to you guys. So just for future work. So the work I've performed so far, it just we'll just chalk that up to assistance. So.
He hasn't sent us a bill either, is what he's saying.
That's right.
But the point being,
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. I don't mean to be asking for a bill when I don't otherwise need one. But
Yeah, I knew at some point there'd be a time that I would need to get a contract, but I knew we were on a crunch deadline to get the ARC application in was due within the week, I think, that I started, and so I didn't really have time to focus on the proposal, and then the CDBG grant was shortly thereafter, and so I want to make sure that I got that in. But I will certainly would welcome the opportunity to submit a proposal for maybe a general services contract that would help cover some of this. So.
Well, I know you've been helping John with the water plant as well, and so I would just want to define the relationship. I'm happy with what you've helped us with. I just want to make sure that we know what's. We all, good fences make good neighbors. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
and if you can get us that contract, we can have it for the next meeting, if that's okay.
Sure.
Is that good with you all, Nate? Is that good with you,
Yes.
Jessica?
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy with what you're doing. I just was curious where we were in that process.
Yep. Thank you for asking.
All right, I'm good.
Okay, somebody has a comment here. Objective and honest investigation and studies need to be done. This is a serious concern of one of Monteagle's must take seriously. So far, all experts have weighed in with concerns about both our infrastructure and our water supply. We do not need to sugarcoat it. I don't know who put this on there, but I'm just reading it.
Lucy Keeble.
This Lucy Keeble. So I'm really not sure. What we're referring to is we're sugarcoating. I'm not aware. Are you sugarcoating anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Our Nate?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So we've been talking about a consulting role that the engineer would be playing for the town as a consultant on water and sewer and perhaps other issues. And it's typical for towns to hire consultants to get expert third-party opinions. I'm not sure exactly what she's.
I'm not either. And that's
sewer infrastructure and water supply.
You have it.
And I think and maybe I'm going to go out on a limb and just make some assumptions about the comment, but the grants are for, the ARC grant is to address sewer infrastructure. The CDBG grant is to address sewer infrastructure. The water tank inspections that John spoke about earlier in the meeting that will take place on Wednesday, that will address water infrastructure issues. And so I think, I guess what we've discussed here tonight, we've talked about two grants that would go toward improving or repairing sewer infrastructure, and then the meeting on Wednesday will go toward identifying issues that were observed by the tank inspection report that we will discuss, and probably more issues will come out of that we'll address.
And that's a
once we find out.
maintenance, right? We're
That's
talking
correct.
maintenance issues, and we're talking about growth. We're not talking about we're lacking any capacity right now, or do we see any future capacity? I think that, I don't know where the comment's sugarcoating, but we're talking about to be able to maintain, to maintenance, and to grow for the future and repair as we grow, correct? Unless I've missed something.
It may be more specific
Mhm.
question might help out, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's
So, council, are you aware of something that we're not aware of here? Because I'm talking to the utility director and the engineer, which is on record, and myself. And I think our attorney's there too. So I want to make sure we make this part of the record. I'm not aware of anything else that are you, Nate?
I think it all relates back to the truck stop and whether we had capacity to be able to manage that development. And now with a new engineer coming in, is there a problem, or again, is it just a maintenance issue and an evaluation? I think that's what people are worried about.
so we discussed part of the CDBG grant. I think maybe there was maybe a question at the last meeting regarding capacity, and part of that grant and part of the scope of the project would include that capacity evaluation of the sewer system. That would include the portion of town that's being referenced, that's in question of being developed. So that is part of the scope of the grant money for the ARC application and the CDBG application.
For any development.
That's
and
correct.
so it was not a specific development, what Beth Jones
Just,
said,
that's
or any
correct.
development of
That's
any
right.
capacity to see where we're at.
That's right. So
Let's
the
clarify.
scope of the project would include what is the current capacity of the sewer system as it sits now, and then the remaining capacity would we would be able to see what that remaining amount is, and then be able to see what developments are and can come into the city without any upgrades, or maybe no upgrades are needed. And so that's part of that capacity analysis.
Sounds good. That's what we need to be doing to look forward. I'm agreeing with it.
Okay.
So just because somebody had a question, Travis, and it's good to see you, really what you're voting on or what we're proceeding with right now is making application for a grant, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's great, Sam. Good to see you too. I think one of the questions that came up, how long does such a capacity analysis take? So part of the scope that we looked at that will need to be performed will be to install flow meters into the system and to look and see what daily flows are, and that would evaluate the peaks and the dry weather flow as well. And so from that data, then we will be able to assess what the capacity is currently. And then again, the deduction would be what is remaining. And so typically we would do at least a 60-day study. And then once we receive the data back from the flow meters, it probably, so we're looking at probably 90 to 120 days once we start that process.
That's for your evaluation, right?
That's for the evaluation. That's correct.
Okay. Does anyone see any, Sam, do you see any other questions then?
No.
What was that question right there?
See, it
Will
was,
will the results of the capacity,
it just went back. I don't know where it went. Here you go.
Will the results of the capacity analysis or the sewage and water supply infrastructure capacity evaluations be public data information? So I would, when we do report, we will report those results to the board. And so I would assume that that data would be or could be presented at a council meeting or some other venue, that those would be public. So once we get all our reporting completed, we'll turn over a report and do the presentation to the board.
And so far, we're transparent. We're trying to get everything we can presented, or you can get copies of it. So I see no reason not to present it to the board. Do you, John? There's, okay. I mean, to the public. So no, yeah, we can present
That's
to the
correct.
public. If it's multiple pages, they can pay for the copies. We'll get them the copies. So
Sure, and we can, and typically I've done a lot of, we can do a virtual if need be, or we can certainly have a venue if at the time that we're completed, it's in person or whatever that the board would prefer. So we've got.
The answer is yes, that we can do that.
The answer is yes.
Is that right, Sam? There's no reason why we couldn't, right? It's public.
No reason why you can't go ahead and approve the grant application? Is that what you're asking?
No, there's no reason why any of this data that we cannot provide it to the public if they want a copy of these analysis once they're done. I mean,
unless somehow it's, I mean, Travis, it's not proprietary or anything, is it? It's for the town.
That's correct.
Yeah, absolutely no reason you can't.
Okay, well, does that answer everybody's questions? So, okay, so now back to the fire department grant. Did we get that one finished? That you're going to get the contract for us?
Yes,
is everyone good with that? Do they have anything else for the engineer?
Well, there was a question about whether it included the truck stop in the analysis. So the analysis will be of what's happening now and what our excess capacity is. So in as much there isn't a truck stop, it won't include any sort of forecast of the truck stop that I know of, but it'll just tell us what our capacity is. That was the only question that we didn't answer. So I think I think I answered. I hope I answered. I got to thank you. So I maybe we should move on, and then if people have further comments, we can do those in the public comment section.
Okay. All right.
That way we can keep rolling through the agenda.
And I'll make one last comment to that. Just so the analysis will include the entire system. So that would include any area or any pipe that's currently in the system. And so that the way that works is any development that comes in, whether it be a home or a business or a truck stop or whatever it might be, we have engineering standards of volumes that are assigned to those establishments, and then we can make an assessment to what we know and the data that's collected in the flow monitoring analysis, and then project based on those industry standards what the allowable limit would be for a specific establishment to attach on to the sewer system. So we would have the information then to say, yes, this home or these sewer lines has enough capacity for this home or homes or business or whatever it may be to connect on. So that would include that enough information to do that.
Okay. Council? All right, and are you done with that portion? So we can move on to the next part?
Yes.
Everybody's been read. Nobody's been left out.
Well, there's other things here that people are putting in. There's can you not see the comments? This is one of the benefit studies needed.
Sure.
Yeah. And then we need to know this first. So there's other comments, but I don't think they're direct questions. So, all right. So thank you, Travis. Appreciate it. We do have the roads director over here, Mr. Butler. We're going to go ahead and deal with him so we can go to business here. And then Sam, hopefully we won't keep you after that. Well, we might need you after that. And
what's up?
Here's Keith. The roads department.
On the roads we've looked at, we've looked at a couple of 3 roads that we're going to try to get done. Probably it'll be in the spring because they won't buy any oil or any tar and chipping until then. So we've been replacing some culverts, try to do some ditch work, stuff like that to get ready when they do. Is there anything that y'all got that y'all need to know?
The road list is what Nate wants to know, but you'll
And
have
then-
Can you tell me what the orangey red flags are right around the lake on Laurel Lake? They're on both sides of the road.
That's just where somebody has surveyed some property, I think. You're talking about right when you get, right before you cross the lake there?
Right.
Yeah, that's where somebody had bought land and they've had it surveyed, and that's just their property lines.
Okay. It's just odd looking because it's right along the road only and it's on both sides of the road.
Yeah, it also goes through the woods. I think it even probably goes up the back of Chicory there. And it's just where some land has been sold, and that's their property lines. It's nothing to do with streets.
Okay. I was hoping.
I understand, but no, it's that's just a private individual's bought land, I believe.
Are we going to get eventually a sort of a written list of priorities for which streets need to happen when, so that we can show the public what our plans are?
Well, we had talked about 8th Street is real bad, and we talked about having to do a catch basin and stuff off it before we even do the road. And then on 3rd Street, probably at least half of it needs done. Where they've done sewer pipe bursting or something before, has some low places in it, so it needs resurfaced. And then on North Bluff Drive, it's not been touched since I've been here, so it's pretty bad
25
shape.
years, I think.
Yeah, and it's it's washing bad. Other than that, just this time of year, about all you can do is ditch work and stuff like that. You can't do any tar and chipping and stuff like that till spring.
You are going to have a road list with the priorities. So he
yeah.
will have a road list. We'll try, Nate, to have that the next meeting as discussed. That way people can see, and he's talked both to the road commissioner in Grundy,
Right.
and we'll be talking to one in Marion to do work. And as we work on our budget, hopefully we can implement on both sides of the city to get road work done.
That's what I'm thinking about, is the next year's budgeting process and trying to get an idea of what we want to be budgeting for next year.
Yeah, the way I understand it, I mean, it's gonna take a little more than what, you had before, because I guess they've not been through with them so long. So, and like I say, you can't go in and redo a road and have a rotten culvert under it and then have to cut a new road into and redo it to put a culvert in.
Yeah.
So that's some of the stuff we've been doing.
I had a question from somebody out on Laurel Lake Drive about Wells Street. You know, that emergency
Right.
street that was put in.
Right.
Somebody had said that there was a gate going up. Are we doing that?
Yeah, we're supposed to do that. That road is not, it's just supposed to be for emergencies only. In case something happened, like before when the tile washed out.
So
And it's only for that.
the guy who asked me is the guy who sold it to you. Did he not maintain an interest in the road himself?
The only thing they had it for was to get the timber off of it, the ones that we bought it from. I mean, that was the only interest that we knew about.
Oh, see, I had assumed he'd kept it because he put all that rock on it, and
He didn't put the rock on it.
Yeah, they did,
When-
just to get
in
the timber out.
Yeah, but
They did.
then the road from there to Mr. Turner's where the gate goes, right?
There was no rock on it at
Yeah.
all.
But that's going to be our emergency access,
Right,
right? It
that's
belongs
where-
to the town.
That's where gate's supposed to go.
so the gate will go beyond where the rock is.
Now, the first curve there where that trailer sits, that's where ours turns out and meets with Wales Road.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think-
where that gravel goes on down, they just did that, I don't know, to get timber out. but ours makes the turn right there at that, where that mobile home is.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think he was just confused because he was thinking that gravel part was going to get blocked off.
Well, it is. I mean, from Laurel Lake to Wells Road, both ends are supposed to be blocked.
He must not have realized he'd done it. It's the guy who sold it to you, but okay. I just, he was asking me and I said, well, I don't know anything about it. That was before my time. So
Yeah, somebody had bought some lots there, and I believe they were thinking they could use that road, but that's not the way I understood it when it was bought.
Okay.
Well, there's a contract here that defines that though, isn't there, Deb? Well, if it's emergency access, there should be a contract within the minutes of where it was bought.
I'm pretty sure.
So there's a deed on what it was used for and what it was purchased for and the amount. I do remember seeing some of that in the minutes.
Right.
There was emergency access for it and it belonged to the town.
Okay. Well, we'll look at that later.
Right. Okay.
All right. The other issue, and of course, Butler's here to answer, and I think that the council's aware there was an issue of a road that belonged to the town that went to the water tank. Nate, you also walked that and checked it with the individuals in question, but there was a barrier put in it, and we had a resident that was concerned and had a valid concern about that being blocked. But I think that has been resolved. The barrier's been moved. We know it's the town's road, and we will have that worked out hopefully by the end of the week. But now, and I've talked to Butler and to John about putting some gravel on it, and sort of farming up the road before it can be used, and we will maintain our road from this point on. So do y'all have any?
How hard would it be to get that water that's on D's to drain off so that road firmed up a little more? Is that a project that we want to get into?
Well, it just needs to be a culvert put in there to drain it. They had just cut like a little dip in it before. I mean, I guess it's really not ours to drain, but to keep the road, we need to.
Yeah. So I talked to Cora Dees and I talked to Michael and I talked to Tony Rhodes at the other end, and we were all sort of brainstorming about it. And it seems like, particularly from Cora's perspective, getting that road so that the fire trucks can get to the fire hydrants is probably worth something.
Yeah. And once upon a time it was. I mean, it's just it's not used that often is what it is. When they have to go work on a water tank, something like that. So, it's you can travel it, but yeah, it needs gravel.
Well, Mr. Godier wanted me to convey that he is not going to block the road again, and that he understands that we all have access to it. He wanted me to convey that. I talked to him yesterday, and he asked me to convey that to the council. So we're going to work. What he and Ms. Dees and I all talked about is just having Paul put together a little document that talks about the road, that we can all agree that it needs to remain open and that everybody has access to it. And then we'll see if we can get all parties to sign it, and we'll just record it in the so this is done.
Right.
And Paul's proceeding with that today. So that's being done. So does anyone else have any questions from Keith?
I do, and I'm not sure that we can do anything about it, and I'm not sure that Keith's the one I need to ask about it, but Roger Everett and his stop sign down at the end. Give me a reason why we can't do it.
Because that is not our road. That's a county road. We put a stop sign. Well, let's clarify this quickly. We put a stop sign up there because it was brought to our attention and the liability that could happen with a child on the bus. When we put it up there, Mr. Jim Waller and several people that lived in that area, actually we still got the DVD, a 34-minute dissertation on why it was illegal for us to do it. That's when I found out that when they did the zoning on North Bluff, they went so many feet when you go to the little creek, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That stops the city limits. Then when you go to the next adjacent house that would be on your left, it goes in 25 feet off the road. It takes in the edge of the bluff. So the road's not ours. It belongs to Grundy County. Now, we did talk to Mr. Johnny Ray False about it. And I talked to Mr. Everett too, and we have told Johnny Ray his concerns, but that is a county road. It is not a town of Monteagle's road. So we have no jurisdiction to deal with it.
Okay, he has asked me multiple times and I don't know the answer, so that's why I asked.
Well, it's a county road. It's not Monteagle's road.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nate?
No, I just, look at that, thinking about the culvert just one last time. If you'd look at it and figure out what you think would fix it. And then maybe we go talk to Mr. Godier, because he's a little worried about the runoff. Cora obviously wants to see it's all backing up on her and it's making the road soft. Mr. Godier is,
Right.
so not actually do anything, but see what you think ought to fix it, and then maybe we go talk to him.
Yeah, we can't do a lot there because see, that's not in the city limits, but that's going to our water tank. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I'm thinking more about, we're gonna have to maintain that tank soon, and we'll need to be getting some trucks out of there.
And it's not going to take a lot of tile, and we probably got a piece to put in there, and you're going to gravel it anyway, so it's not a big issue now.
No, we need to figure out how to get it off of his property. We'll probably have to go on his property a little bit to keep it draining away, and so that's why I wouldn't want to do it without talking to him. But at the same time, it probably needs to be done.
Yeah, and there's a tree there on his side that needs taken out.
Yeah.
So we can so we can do that, and that'll help with the drainage a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I talked to everybody. I think they were concerned about the water line, but y'all probably know it's probably deep enough.
Yeah, it's deep enough. I mean, it should be at least 36 inches deep. So.
Okay.
I'm not sure where this road is, but who uses this road?
It's just access really to the water tank, and there's a fire hydrant there. Now we have to have access to the tank. We have to keep it, and the fire hydrant, we have to keep it mowed, and cleaned up around the fence inside the tank.
Right. So who's been traveling on it other than the city going to the water tank?
Well, where it got rutted up is one of the issues, is where they were doing the fiber optic, and they had to get down there to hook up our telemetry to the tank. And I guess that's sort of how it got rutted up, was sort of one of the sore places about it.
Okay.
Where the other people had been maintaining it, taking, mowing it, and they've been doing good, but still we can't have it blocked.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a common road. I know the D's use it to get back and forth to their son's place. Michael uses it to get to his place, and he's graveled the front of it. The front of it's good and solid, but you get on past the front that he uses, it just kind of squishy back there.
Right. Yeah. And it'll need to dry up some, what it is right now to do that. I'm not saying you can go around up there tomorrow and gravel it.
Right.
Well, he was okay with it, so we'll just take our time and just look at it, figure out how to do it right when the right time happens.
Right. Yeah, it's not a big deal, and it does need gravel to the fire hydrant and to the gate.
Well, I've asked Keith to go ahead if we have to do that to make sure there's access, but if we can get a tile in, that's good. And the other thing is we've got it settled that nobody is being blocked, and the fire hydrant is no longer being blocked in case there is a fire. Correct? So those things are taken care of. Safety issues are now. So, another thing, of course, we did get one container brought back by Grundy County. Keith also does this. He maintains part of the convenience center, and the cardboard container is supposed to be there Tuesday, and of course, it has to be broken down cardboard and only cardboard out there. So. And we are scheduling a meeting as soon as possible with the two county mayors to discuss those issues as well. So
are we talking Tuesday as in tomorrow?
Yes, Tuesday tomorrow. Supposed to be there. Now, that's what Franklin County called and said last week.
Okay.
So.
And we'll have to make sure there's not even the smallest piece of plastic, nothing. I mean, there can't be nothing but cardboard.
Yep. Broken down cardboard. Right. The council, any other questions for Mr. Butler?
I do not. There are questions popping up, I think, but I do not have any. There are comments.
Which is what we'll do.
They seem to be more comments.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll go back to those. We'll just ask you to hang around if you don't mind, because we got some comments. All right. So we're gonna go back to this. We are not ignoring anyone, but Nate, you did bring up that we needed to go ahead and move forward and bring up these comments in public hearing is the reason that we did not address all the comments. So we'll have to go back and address those that we haven't. We just want people to know we're not ignoring them, because I saw a couple of things that we had maybe ignored and we're not doing that. Okay, now we're at old business. Sam, are you still with us?
I am.
Want to go ahead and read the old business so we get this properly, since it's dealing with the ordinances. Do you have them with you, or
I do.
Let's go
I
ahead
do.
and
So
it's
I'll
the
read
second reading of the
I'll
two
read the
ordinances.
caption of ordinance number 02-21, an ordinance of the town of Monteagle, Tennessee, adopting the official zoning map of the town of Monteagle, Tennessee. And Madam Mayor, as we explained in the public hearing, what we're doing is updating our map to reflect the changes in the zoning ordinance or rezonings since 2016.
Council, we had the first reading on ordinance number 02-21, the map. Do we have a motion to do the second reading on this ordinance? I mean, to pass this ordinance, it'll be the second.
Adopt
Motion.
on the second reading.
Adopt on the second reading. Sorry for my terminology. I'm a little.
This one's 02-21?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Right there it is on the screen, Doreen.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the second reading on the ordinance 02-21.
Right, do we have a second?
I will second it.
Okay, roll call vote. Well, any other discussion, council? Make sure we're following. Okay, if not, Doreen?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Nate?
Yes.
Myself, yes. So that one's approved. Sam, will you read the next one as well, since it's dealing with the ordinance?
Yes.
Adopting. Okay.
All right, ordinance number 03-21 is an ordinance of the town of Monteagle, Tennessee, adopting the town of Monteagle zoning ordinance. And as we explained in the public hearing, this is a revamping of our zoning ordinance to make some changes since 2016. Really, we adopted one in 2018 and didn't give appropriate public notice. And so now we've done so, and we've made a few changes. For example, we had an obligation in the zoning ordinance as it existed to send out letters to people within 300 feet of a rezoned property. And now we do it as a courtesy, but it's not a requirement. That was an issue in the lawsuit. So that's before you now, members of the council.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt on the second reading 03-21, ordinance 2021?
I'll make the motion to adopt the town of Monteagle zoning ordinance number 03-21.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Second. Okay, any discussion? Nate?
No, I think people are concerned that we are adopting the ordinance before the map, but I think we are in the process of adopting the map, right?
We just adopted the map first.
Yeah, you just read the map.
Okay, so the comments are not correct then. No, I have no comments. I think we're going forward like we need to.
It might be important people for people to understand that the reason that the letters are going to be sent as a courtesy, if you have a big inherited piece of property where there may be 100 different heirs and you can't find people, then you're kind of stuck. But if we do this as a courtesy, then we're not caught off guard and not able to do business, because one heir who might be who knows where can't be found.
And that was saying that we're going to go ahead and put the signage on it too. The signage is included that will be put on the property for the appropriate amount of time.
Right.
Right.
So We had a motion by Doreen. We have a second by Jessica. Nate, roll call vote.
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
Doreen.
Yes.
That's it. Yes, those 4 yeses. Okay,
Good.
that's all the,
Well, I guess we'll wait to the end. We'll address comments at the end. That was my
yes,
suggestion.
well, that was your suggestion, so. Okay, we have adopted the business permits under new business because they were here and they were leaving. We've adopted the resolution. Nate, now it's time for, well, let's go ahead and do the resolution in case that Sam doesn't want to stay. Well, he wants to stay for comments. Never mind, Sam, we got you for a while. Nate, you want to go ahead and do the letter of support for the Mountain Goat now? Since that's something that you're Jessica, you being the president, want to do that?
Patrick is on to do that. Iva, would you unmute Patrick and let him turn his video on? He honestly knows more about it than I do.
We don't have a copy. Deb didn't get a copy of that. Did he not send it to Deb?
You sent it to you and then you sent it to everybody. It's out there, I think.
Okay. Well, it might have went through. You know, we're dealing with Ben Lomond's mill, but I know I sent it back out. So, okay, back to Patrick. Are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can see you too. Hi, Patrick.
Great. Hey there. Good evening. I'm here tonight because the Mountain Goat Trail Alliance is applying for a grant from the Department of Health, Tennessee Department of Health. It's a Healthy Built Environment grant for $80,000 with no match. We are applying for it to build the section of trail in Monteagle and from Dubose Conference Center east toward Tracy City. And I have some maps to show you if you want to see in more detail what we're talking about. But the grant requires the letter of support from the town saying the town supports the grant. And that's what we're here for tonight.
You might want to show the map just so we've got it as part of the record, if you don't mind.
Okay.
You do that?
Have Michelle, can you let me share?
I think you're good to go.
Okay. Nope. I'm disabled.
Nope. Okay, let's do this. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so this is the section we're talking about. Beginning on Main Street, your bottom left is Main Street. City Hall is right there at the bottom left. Cutting across through over to Dubose Conference Center to College Street. College Street running all the way to Bennett Street, where it cuts across to Dubose and then heads to Dubose toward Summerfield Market. So for the grant's purpose, we're only going to North Scenic Drive along this route. And that's the area we're talking about for this grant.
Okay, and you may have clarified, but iterating in, Nate and I did discover, what was it, several years back, Nate, that this section of the road really didn't belong anymore to the town of Monteagle. And in a transition, it had been traded for part of the property where we're actually sitting with Town Hall. So for that reason, that is really not our street. Dubose is donating that. So we would just be going to the end of that, correct, Nate?
Correct. So Overton Ave, when I went back and looked at the deed after you and I talked about it before, what I think I guess it was Mayor Rollins had imagined was extending Overton Ave and tying it into College. So if you see those 4 cabins in a line on the Dubose property, that's about where the city ownership of that street ends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'd be right here. And so, but see it, and I've got Keith over here looking at the driveway. So his only concern was there was lines. Is that correct, Keith?
Well, they're gonna cross the water lines no matter how you look at it.
But once this is done, the Mountain Goat would pay for the driveways. Of course, they will maintain, to this point, but if they have to, then they may have to go through that driveway. If there's a water line bust or something. Yeah. We're all aware of that, correct?
Yeah. And so Patrick, can you talk about the partner in this grant? Because Marilyn and I were talking the other day about gardens and that we do have a partner in this grant that's going to do a garden of some sort.
Sure. So Growing Roots, the nonprofit that's now in Tracy City at the old high school, which used to be at DuBose Center, asked to partner with us on this grant for $3,500 to do a native plant garden that would be alongside the trail in the in-between area on property that the MGTA currently owns. They would create the garden. It would have benches. It would be ADA compliant. They would create it. They would build it. They would maintain it. And so it seems like a really nice feature to have along the trail. And that's part of this grant also.
Well, at one time, what I mentioned tonight too, we'd like to see is once we can get into our planning again, we had like a farmer's market whenever they weren't doing it at Swanee and other areas. We had a farmer's market under the pavilion. And I said, I'd love to see a community garden. And he said that had been added to that. So I just think that would be such an asset to have it for those that need it, those that want to work it and have exercise, kids programs, and then I don't know what they usually do with the produce, but, help those that need it. I mean, you've got Jessica, the Methodist Church. I mean, I don't know how distribution's done, but I'd love to see that and the farmer's market back under the pavilion so many days a week when we can, to create that community environment. So.
Yeah, absolutely. One of their main missions is to make fresh food more accessible and affordable for the local community. So it fits right in with what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So, all right,
are there going to be barriers at the end that nobody can drive on this?
Ballers?
I would think so. What we are looking for, we were going to talk about this. I guess we are talking about it now. Assuming the town thinks this is a reasonable plan, which I think we've talked about and we all do, we need to turn it over for final engineering, and those can go into the engineering, certainly. And I think that they should. My guess is we'll probably actually tear up the pavement there at where Bennett Avenue and College Street come together and plant some grass and sort of take it out completely, and probably at the other end too on DuBose Street.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. That road's been there ever since I've been alive that I can remember. So I wasn't real game on getting rid of that road until I talked to John and Keith, and they're like, yeah, I'd rather it be on the road instead of in the median because we do have gas lines. We do have water lines there. And two, the city does not own that road. So.
It's on to DuBose. It's just us agreeing to cross the way and connect. Right. And the letter of support, which, that was part of the Monteagle 2020. That was part of Nate and Patrick are both aware that, we put the boots on the ground when Michelle was part of the grant writer of seeing the mountain go, David Burnett and others. I mean, the list goes on, and making that happen and to see it to continue. And we're COVID safe. You can get outside and walk on there, and you can, wear your mask to be healthy and ride your bike. So,
right.
We can continue to do that. And I think it's a great asset for us to continue to support myself, but I can't make a motion. So that would be probably one of y'all to do that. And
it probably should be Doreen since Nate and I are involved with the trail.
But the driveways will be cut across.
Yeah, the driveways will be cut. Here's the driveways, correct, Patrick? The two gray areas, Patrick, is that right? The new driveways for the houses? Yes.
And those will be built to handle fire trucks, ambulance, whatever needs to get to those two houses.
Yeah, we'd just pave those. I would imagine we'll have the paving company there anyway.
Well, and there's no issue with the zoning because this is already, as far as commercial, correct, and residential. So there's no problem with the driveway here, or there's no problem currently, since we're working on these issues, we don't want to create a problem. There is no problem with this, correct? For this type of facility, is that right?
I guess what Doreen's saying is, will there be a base put down to hold up a fire truck?
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, there has to be. There's a minimum inspection on a road. And
it'll all be engineered and designed. So we've got St. John's Engineering has been hired to do this section, to do the design work on this section of the trail. So the answer to the question is yes.
Okay.
We may end up just doing a top coat over College Street because it's got such a good base on it. We'll do base and top coat on everything else.
Right.
Okay, so the end of the road right there, where you would go down to Mrs. Gunn's. I'm not sure what the name of the road is.
Bennett Street.
Bennett, yeah.
Right. That's the end of the city limits as far as the goat trail, right? Does it go
No,
further?
the city limits continue on the left-hand side. You get past Mary's house and the city limits end on the right-hand side.
Well, there was strip annexation done back in the day, Doreen. We need to look at the map. And I talked to Nate about this the other day to continue to get to Campbell subdivision, because that is no longer allowed to be done. I think they called it strip annexation back in the day, but you can't do that anymore. The state stopped that many years ago. That was done a long time ago, but it takes in a section of property that is X amount wide till you get around, is that Arbery Road? What is that road that Campbell subdivisions on?
Ingman Farm.
Ingham Farm. It takes a portion of that and it loops all the way around Campbell subdivision. That's where it stops. Now, we don't own all those properties on either part, but there's a width there that we do connect until we get to that subdivision.
We can look at it. We've got several months to look at it, and we've got a new map to look at. So
yeah.
As of
So,
today. So,
I have a question for the attorney before we move any further. Since two of you are on the board, and you said that Doreen should probably make the motion. Sam?
Yes.
Okay, since that I'm the mayor, and how do we handle this? Do they just disclose that they're on the board before they vote to make it legal?
Yes. They don't have a conflict.
Okay.
we don't have to compensation.
You don't have a legal conflict unless you or a member of your close family is getting a contract from the city on this project.
Is anyone getting the contract? Let's clarify that. Nobody's family's involved in these nonprofits that work for them. Okay. Okay. Just.
So that's not a legal conflict. It probably is wise to disclose your interest on the vote, but unless that interest, makes, to you a difference where you'd voting yes where ordinarily you'd vote no, there's no reason to recuse yourself.
Okay.
Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
I mean, the only legal conflict is where you're getting, you or a member of your family, you're voting for you or a member of your family to get money from the town.
Okay. So if y'all want to do your disclosures, then we'll go forth with our motions if y'all want to. So that way we're still legal.
Jessica Favalora. I'm a member of the Mountain Goat Trail Alliance Board.
Nate Wilson, I am also a member of the Mountain Goat Trail Alliance Board.
Does that suffice for legal?
Yes.
Voluntary positions for both of us.
Right.
All right. So back to, do we hear a motion to approve the letter of support for the Mountain Goat project continuation?
I'll make a motion that we approve the letter of support for the Mountain Goat Trail.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call vote. Nate?
Aye, yes.
Jessica?
Absolutely, yes.
Doreen?
Yes.
Myself, yes. So, okay. All right. So we'll move to the next one, which is Resolution 02-2021 request to PC. Sam, will you read this one as well, since it's dealing with a part of the legal issues we're addressing?
Yeah, if you'll bear with me just a minute, Mayor, I sure will.
Thanks, Patrick. We appreciate you. I'll get him. I'm gonna text him here in a minute and tell him.
Just a moment. Let's see. That's the, yeah. As the council is aware, and as some members of the public are aware, there was a lawsuit having to do with a tract next to a planned truck stop or an expansion of a truck stop, which was involved in litigation. And one of the reasons it was involved in litigation was that there was a valid issue as to whether or not an appropriate period of time was provided for the public hearing. We believed not. There actually, in our review, we found another tract in town where that had the same issue. And so the only way you really fix it is go back through the process again. So what the board here is doing is requesting that the 2 tracks that are at issue where we found problems with the public notice be referred back to the Planning Commission so we can put them back through the pipeline again and straighten out the possible issue. And so resolution 02-2021 is a resolution of the town of Monteagle, Tennessee, requesting review by the Planning Commission of these 2 tracks.
We should probably post this, Iva, if you can, so everybody can see it.
I don't know if I have it.
Yeah. Let's see. Can y'all see it?
It's like page 13 of 14 of the package we got.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you get
We're
that?
gonna
all?
make it.
Yeah, page 13 of 14. Yeah, exactly.
Sam, while we're talking about this, we just wanted, for the record, we found a couple others that we're going to address at different times. The same thing happened with. So this is not the first and won't be the last, but we did note that prior to going in, readopting and changing what we're now moving forward and trying to do. Is that correct?
That's correct. Well, I mean, we're all we know to do to get it right is to go back through the process again. And so with these 2 tracks, that's what we're doing. And there may be more, like you said, down the road, but we're starting with these 2.
All right, I found it.
And one of them is the one that's involved in the lawsuit, and they have gone ahead and actually applied for a rezoning because they know we're going back through the process.
And I think you noted that on this resolution, you said
Yes.
for your purposes, did you not?
Yes.
Now the other one is supposed to be requesting it as well. And I don't know what Earl's found out about that one.
Yes, I have talked with Shane, and he is, I'm just going to issue him a temporary CO for that project he's doing, and he's aware of that, and he's aware and happily to reapply to be rezoned.
Okay, because his was the same thing, the wrong notice given in the area when it was rezoned.
Right.
Right.
So all this does is send those 2 tracks back to the Planning Commission for reconsideration, and then we'll go through with the proper notice.
Okay. Council?
I think this all makes sense. So this is one where the public may have comment on, and so I'll just talk about it because we're almost to public comment, so no need to talk about it anymore. So this is not making any declaration about anything involved in the RBT property. So Casey Reed is asking how many acres. This is not a request for zoning. This is just taking the one part that in the map was hashed out because it was subject to the lawsuit and sending it back to the Planning Commission because we got to figure out what to do with it. And there is also another track that we got to figure out what to do with. But that one is a little different because those landowners, how many acres will be reviewed? I think in
5 or 6, and I don't know.
Whatever was at issue in the lawsuit is what.
Yeah.
I think the RBT track is 6.8 maybe, and the other one is probably 1 or 2.
Well, let's don't quote. I agree with Sam. He said whatever's in the lawsuit, and per the R3 to C3 or to C3 to R3 with the RBT, whatever was in the lawsuit is what we're reviewing for them.
Yeah.
The other track is mentioned in here, correct? And it's a different.
Now, since we're going back through the process, understand that at the public hearing on the rezoning of the tract that was involved in the lawsuit, the public will have a chance to make their comments on these ordinances. It's like we're going through and readopting them from fresh. So it'll be the same process we always have with the rezoning. The Planning Commission will hear comments and make a determination or make a recommendation, which you can either accept or deny, as the case may be. But there will be a public hearing down the road once again on this rezoning.
Sam, we will also post, it'll be posted on the property it's happening, and this is where the courtesy letters will be sent out, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we will follow that from now on, even on each clean, whether we're cleaning it up or it's a new piece of property. And is that correct? We don't. Does anybody
Yeah.
have a copy of the map? Somebody is wanting to see the map. I don't have it. Nate, do you have it?
I have it. If you want to do screen sharing, Iva, you got it too, don't you, Iva? Why don't you post it up?
I do not. So
Okay.
Do we have the map that we adopted, that was adopted tonight?
I have it.
You've got it.
Because,
Well,
because if you have it, it's the hatched area on the map.
all right, let me give, yeah, you're good to go, Nate. So go ahead and share it.
Okay, it's going to take me a second to find it. Image, resolution, ordinance. I know Debbie sent it to me, so I know I've got it.
Nate, while you're looking, I'm going to clarify something. Because of the speed here at Town Hall and maybe at other places, it may sound like we're talking over each other, but we're really not. So if you'll share I just saw that comment out there. Go ahead, Nate.
Let me get my screen share back up. Where did it go? I got to maximize my Zoom. Come on now. Wake up, Zoom. I'm already in a meeting.
Sam, could you explain to the people that are watching when the readings and when the meeting will be so they can participate?
Yes, we will advertise a public hearing right after the, and there's the map, and then, and Nate, if we can pull it up to the little crosshatched area.
We are talking about 2 tracks, and if everybody can see my cursor.
Right here. That has the red and gray or red and brown horizontal lines. Is that it? Vertical lines?
Yeah. That is the track that RBT is concerned about. And then the other track, y'all remind me, which did we end up doing? Was it
it was on the left hand
collision center, right?
Yes, collision center.
All right. So for those of you listening, you will see right here that there are 2 tracks that are zoned R1. The tract on the right has petitioned city council, or petitioned the planning commission, and was subsequently approved by the city council, the prior city council, to have the tract on the right rezoned to C2. Once they got that rezoning, they have built a shop, a collision center. But they didn't give sufficient notice on that rezoning, and so we're going through that process again for this very small track here, the right-hand track in the R1 zoning.
And that's all that's on this resolution.
Those 2 tracks, the one that was at issue and the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any questions about it before I stop the share? I can't, I've got it taking up my my screen, so I'm not seeing the chat box right now.
I don't see it either. I don't think anybody else. So you might want to take it down to see if we have any comments, because if not, we've got to make a motion. I don't see any on that right now, but so we need a motion to adopt the resolution. Is it 02-2121 2021 request to the planning commission.
I'll make that motion to adopt this resolution.
Okay. Doreen has a second. Roll call. Jessica?
Yes.
Nate?
Yes.
Doreen? Myself? Yes. Okay.
And to answer Jessica's question, I assume that if the planning commission acts on this at their meeting in February, there'll be a 15-day period for this to be advertised. I will have to clarify that with Debbie, but Presumably, the public hearing on this would be at your meeting at the end of February.
Did you hear that? Debbie's listening. She's over here. Okay.
I think we kind of plotted out a schedule
yes.
back in December, and I don't have it here in front of me.
Okay, we do have one more before we get into the public comments or to the alderman, and we do see the comments and we are going to address those. So let us complete this first reading of ordinance 04-21, which is an occupational health safety ordinance. And the ordinance is established to update the occupational safety and health program, devise rules and regulations, and to provide safety directors and the implementation of such a program. Michelle, do you have that one as well that you can post just for a moment? So,
yeah.
Well, actually, there's 14. I mean, yeah. Right now, currently, well, there's several pages of that we go through the protocol for it. It was revised 11/15/2016. I think the first page basically it just has to be redone every 2 or 3 years. Okay. Council, I think you have this in there. So do you have any questions or concerns concerning the update to 0421, the occupational health and safety ordinance?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Do we have a motion on the first reading to adopt?
You need to read the caption, Mayor, or one of us does.
Oh, I thought I did.
Oh, I'm sorry. If you did, I missed it.
Yes, I did. I can.
Okay.
Well, go ahead. You can read it, Sam, since you're here. We're not gonna, I'll let you read it again, but I did read it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, ordinance 04-21, an ordinance to establish an updated occupational safety and health program plan, devise rules and regulations, and to provide for a safety director and the implementation of such program plan.
And currently, Daryl Smith, who's an employee, has been and is still listed as the administrator of this program. So,
how many readings does this have to have? Just one?
Two. It's an ordinance.
Okay.
This will be the first reading. Then we'll have the second reading.
Okay.
All right. We have a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve first reading of ordinance 04-21.
Okay. Do we have a second? Jessica, was that you?
Yes.
Okay. Any discussion? No discussion. Jessica. Roll call vote. I'm sorry. I'm just roll call vote. Jessica.
Yes.
Doreen.
Yeah.
Nate.
Yes.
Myself. Yes. 4 yeses. Okay. That concludes that. Now we have Alderman. And do you have anything that you want to discuss right now?
I do not.
Jessica?
Do not.
Nate?
No, I've chatted with a couple people to say I'll talk to their comments in the public comment period. So no.
Well, I'm going to defer most of those questions to our attorney since he's here. If you don't mind, I mean, we can have a voice to answer those, but if there are any legal questions, that's the reason we have him with us tonight. So as we read the comments, if someone wants to start reading those comments where we left them off.
Didn't we have business under the mayor?
Actually, that's what I'm going to address now is the comments. We're just going to go ahead and address those because I'm not aware of anything that we have under the mayor. Deb, are you?
We're missing a alderman.
Oh, yes. That's the important thing tonight. It wasn't on my thing under mayor. I apologize tonight. We have an appointment of an alderman. Thank you, Nate. We've got stuff. We've got a little in zoning and ordinances that I got a little.
We've been here a while.
Yes, we have. But anyway, back to this. The election of an alderman, it is not elected, it is actually appointed. It says we can appoint the board, and alderman can appoint the absentee of the mayor or the vice mayor or an alderman to that seat. And this is section 3-08. So we had discussed Alvin Powell, which was a former alderman. He had planned on running and he lacked one signature, so he didn't qualify the last time, but he's retired. He's been a member of the council for what, 6.5 years before, and knows the history of the area. He's also involved with the youth programs and the baseball. He is now retired, so he has some more time to dedicate to that. And he said he would be willing to fill that position if we nominate him to that position. So, Alderman, you all right?
I have no problem with Alvin. I'm good.
Jessica?
I think it would be very good to have someone who's been on the council before, since we're all novices at this point.
Nate?
Good.
So thumbs up. So then,
Do I need to make a motion?
yes, you need to make a motion, sir.
Okay, I make the motion that we appoint Alvin Powell to fill out the opening on the Monteagle City Council.
I'll
And it'll be-
second it.
That's Jessica Favalaro. This will be completing the 2-year term that we were all elected for. So, all right, any discussion? Roll call vote. Nate?
Yes.
Jessica?
Yes.
Doreen?
Yes.
Myself, yes. I will we will notify Alvin. I will swear him in, and then we can do that formally or informally at the next meeting that we have. Okay, now we go back to citizens' comment. Who would like to read the comments that we have left off? And if it's a legal question, Sam, I'm gonna just defer that to you since you're attorney and you're online. If it's something we can answer, we will do that. So, and of course, this is citizens hearing, so we can only allow, if somebody does want to speak under citizens hearing, it's 3 minutes per person. But we can at least consider everyone and listen to those because we're not ignoring anyone.
So I think we stopped replying to comments at 7:27. And at 7:27, Billy and Mary Bess posted, since the water sewage study will take 60 to 120 days, should not the review of the proposed truck stop development as well as the additions to Rocky Top be posted until after this study is completed?
Sam?
Well, that's not really a legal question. Legally, no, that there's no reason it should. Practically speaking, I believe I heard Travis say that they look at capacities and use engineering formulas to that degree. So I don't think so, but that's up to the, if the board thinks otherwise and has reasons to think otherwise, then obviously it's up to you.
Well, the site plan they're referring to is the garage, which you told us had, at one time we discussed, it had nothing to do the way it's been presented. I'm just talking to you as far as our attorney. The site plan is Rocky Top Garage, not RBT. It's two different.
Oh, I'm sorry. Then
That's the reason I was referring it back to you. Is that not the question, Nate?
That is the question. I bet he meant to put RBT. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of water and sewer additional capacity on 3 garage bays. I guess I think it's a valid question, and I think that that it deserves an answer. I do think that the study that we're talking about has more specificity than probably what we need to make a decision on RBT. And I think we should be asking Travis this, and I've asked him, and we haven't gotten that answer yet. But we're talking about a gross capacity issue here. Can the system itself take an additional truck stop? My understanding is that's not an issue now, but I don't know that, and I'm going to ask it. And so hold me to it. We're going to see if we can have Travis give us a generic comment on the entire sewer plant. Now that's different from this study about individual lines and where development would go on individual lines. And I'm not sure that we necessarily need that to make this decision, but that's my opinion. I'm done now.
Well, I mean, that's an opinion. That's reason as far as, and we really don't know those answers. What I was asking Sam is that the reference made that I understand that comment, which one was to RBT, the other was to Rocky Top Garage. Those were two totally separate issues, is how we had been advised at this point in time.
Right. But regardless, I mean, all you've done with Travis is commission a study.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, and so that study, if you've got something that's in the works, that study should necessarily take that into account.
All right, so I'm going on down. Sam Sargent, that's a comment. That's not a question.
That's not in the city though, and we need to clarify that. Sam Sargent Road is not in the city, it's a county road. So, and also that house would be in the county, so if it's condemned, they would need to contact Grundy County, is that correct?
Yeah.
Because that's not in the city limits of Monteagle. So whoever's question that is.
So I'm scrolling down. I'm now at 7:43. Janice Foring said, during public comments, I asked you to consider adopting certain provisions in the new ordinance. Did you have time to review, and are you going to discuss the permitted versus conditional uses?
I think if you ask me, you probably need to talk to your planner about conditional uses and how, you know, I agree with the commenter that does give you a little more control on certain things, but then you kind of, you make an exception that can swallow up the rule sometimes. I think that's something that a professional planner ought to address and give us advice on, whether he thinks that's advisable or not.
Yeah. And I guess what I wanted to say is it gets back to Billy Best's comment about the map. You know, what we're trying to do is undo a mess here. Is this necessarily the perfect ordinance? Is this necessarily the perfect map? I think the answer to both of those questions is probably no. They both probably have room for improvement, but given the situation we're in, we need to adopt something to get at a starting point, and from there we can go forward. So I think that's at least my position on the board. And I think we've all talked about it. We got to do, there was a mistake made in the last council. We've got to have a good, solid foundation upon which to build. Is it a good idea to look at the ordinance and think about things such as quality of life that you brought up, Janice or Will, whichever one of you is, and Billy, is there an opportunity to rethink some of the zoning in this 2016 map that we're adopting? Yes to both of those answers, but we got to start somewhere. And if we, in the academic community, they use the term analysis paralysis, where you spend all your time thinking about it and you don't ever act. We need to act, and then we can think about it and we can change going forward, but we got to have something to start with.
Right. There is an argument. There is an argument that we don't have a valid zoning ordinance right now. So when somebody says we should wait and get it right, we need to fix it now as best we can, and then address the fine tuning down the road.
Didn't we just do that tonight by adopting this? Is a starting point that we said validates what we done. We're not in a hurry, but you know, we could argue the point for years and months, and there's going to be people that are not going to be happy, or they're not going to be satisfied. But we've got to do what's best for Monteagle, and I think that's what this board is considering, everything and everyone, but we're going to have to do what's best for Monteagle. It was not my scenario. My scenario's in there on the floor. You know, if that had happened, it would, a lot of y'all were involved with that. That was a plan that was in place. It didn't happen, but we're going to see that hopefully none of these errors ever happen again. We're sorry they did, but we didn't, and there's no outcome. But all we can do is from here go forward.
Okay, and then at 8:05, Douglas Berry asked a question that I think you've already answered, Sam.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been exchanging emails with Mr. Berry too. So
okay.
He's good. He's another attorney.
At 8:07, can you comment on the email council received about decreasing property values around the truck stop? Thank you. Sandra Terrell.
No, I mean, we haven't done a study. Have you done? I mean, we've never done a study for anyone at any time of rezoning. I don't, Sam, is that a qualification whenever you rezone something? I don't know how to answer that.
Not a legal qualification. I mean, is it something that you take into account or not? That's up to you.
Well, we take everything into account, but I see, who is Sandra? iPad? Do we know who that is?
It's Terrell, I think.
Was not Mr. Terrell part of the process when this happened? So I don't know. I'm just saying, people are looking at, we've done this. We didn't rush this. This was a 2-year, it went from 2016 to 2018 in their own minutes. They were part of that process. We're trying to fix it. So yes, we're not in a hurry, and we are considering residents, and we're considering everyone involved.
And yes, the impact to any rezoning on the neighbors is something that is important and that we should and will consider.
And the impact this is having on the town, everything that's having on everyone today and the future. But is that not correct? That they were actually involved when this did transpire?
I never got the details. I did a lot of.
It's in the minutes if you'd like to go back and look at their minutes. That's all identified. So.
8:15, Billy and Mary Beth said, please address the letters sent to the council from the neighbors in standing. That I'm not familiar. Is that the property value letter?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Okay, I think Ms. Terrell says Ron was not involved. He wasn't on the planning commission or the council when any of this happened. Okay. I was just asking what their minutes reflect, so I don't know. I wasn't there then. Okay. The letter that you're referring to, Nate, from the Basses?
That, well, it says Neighbors United. I'm guessing Neighbors in Standing is who the letter was from. And I've read all the letters. I don't remember one coming from a group called Neighbors in Standing, but I'm assuming maybe it was the one that had the property values on it, which I reviewed. And I'm sorry that I don't remember the author of it, but I remember the substance of it.
I remember reading multiple letters as well and emails from different groups, UPPS, neighbors, the attorneys, individuals, but I cannot tell you which one it was. So, but all the letters are important, and we have read them all, and everything's being considered as far as I've read. And so is there, I'm sure the rest of the council. Jessica, have you been reading your letters and emails?
I have. I couldn't tell you now what the group was, but I have read them all. I don't remember getting a certified letter though.
Oh, I didn't get.
Did you get a certified letter at Town Hall, Debbie? I didn't get a certified letter.
I didn't either.
And apparently there was an email error. Somebody thought they were sending me emails and it was going to the internet black hole. And finally it came to Monteagle and I got it yesterday, which was Sunday. So it was not coming to the mayor or the mayor's office. But I've not got Nate, have you got a certified letter?
I have not.
Doreen?
Nope.
And Town Hall has not signed for anything, so we don't have a certified letter. Who sent the letter?
Sandy Terrell's talking about it. It was verified by the post office, received by Town Hall. The Bests apparently sent it.
Well, we've got the city recorder here and she's not aware of it. So we will make sure we find out tomorrow. Because
signed by
any certified letter.
The letter they're referring to. So no, the answer is no, we have not seen that letter.
The website, we need to, well, you said under mayor, so can we still address something, Sam, even though we haven't closed the meeting? Because I do need to bring this up.
Sure.
I saw this mentioned on the email and website. As you know, we have talked to Ben Lemon. We've talked to several different people. I did forward you an email from a stone, Roman stone. For them to do our website was a price, but we had discussed approving as much as, and not any more than maybe $3,000 to get our website transferred and to get it where it could be maintained, where all the correct information will be there, our minutes will be there, and we can do the YouTube station and, you know, or the link and the Facebook Live. And so that wasn't brought up, but what's the council's thoughts so we can go ahead and get this up, because we're trying to be as transparent, trying to be as open, as accurate as we can with all these issues, but we have that redone. So I think we had one proposal, it was $1,900, and maintaining it was $400. We received another one that was $4,800. There's been several of those, but we need to, I'm asking the council to come up with a budget item so we can get that done. So everything can be out there as it should be, and people will have the right contact information. So Jessica, what are your thoughts?
I've been a big proponent of getting our website updated for a long, long time, even before I was on the council. So this group has a very good reputation, and I think it would be good to go ahead and get it going. We need it now, right now, more than we've ever needed it.
Well, we have another bid from GoDaddy as well. That's less money. I don't think either one of them address sort of what's going to happen when the website is moved. So I'm afraid I don't feel like we have enough information to go on. The Stone was obviously much more expensive than GoDaddy. I got some questions for sort of both of them, because I think what's going to trip us up is the ongoing costs if we're paying somebody to maintain it. I would rather pay more, but I don't know that Stone's proposal is better, but I would rather pay more up front and have lower operating costs down the road. You know, have something that has a better user interface so that we could update it, so that somebody in staff could update it. I think it would end up being cheaper in the long run. You know, you pay me now or pay me later. I'd rather pay people now to do it right. I don't have enough information to answer that question though tonight. But
what I'm asking the council to approve is not more than $3,500, and we can actually research it, but get this done in the near future. We're not trying to rush anything, Nate, but we've been into this, and I'm asking for approval, you know, because to me, this is almost emergency mode. I'm reading this as it's going through. Emails have been submitted. They're saying comments have been submitted, things have been submitted. They're not finding it on the website, which is true, you know, so I'm asking for the council to approve not more than $3,500 and fine. And I agree with you on the part, we're not going to rush into this, but if we have the website and then we can transfer the information to there, and then it can become the town's later, but we can do it for that price. Not to exceed that amount. And that we do start on it, that we find the person and start it before the end of the month.
We authorize 3,500 and just let you make the decision. Is that
Well, I mean, if you want to help me, you're welcome to. I can comment, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, to make that decision, because we're not going to do it, but you know, that we do the right thing to get this thing going, and people can contact us, and we are getting the email, and there's not a response, because right now they're not in the system we're using.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's fair to us or to them, honestly, because I mean, we're going to fiber in a week, so that people can communicate better with us. You know, I think we've got to update it. We've got to start somewhere. It's just like you said about, you know, academia, you know, if we don't start somewhere, we're never going to get there. We're not going to be wasting money. Hey, this last one was there for 7 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's good, but you know what I'm saying? So,
Sam, because I'm new to this, just from and you're here, we're paying you anyway. So question, can we authorize a not to exceed price, and then is it legal and okay for us to talk to Maryland about which company we go with outside of a public forum if we approve the money, or do we need to, how does that work? You
can approve a not to exceed, but you can't talk about making a decision outside of a meeting.
I can make the decision. Then you're saying I can make a decision to hire someone. They could submit it to me and their suggestion, and can I make that decision legally?
No, I mean, because you would be talking amongst yourselves about making a decision. You could delegate the decision. You know, the best thing would be, I'm not sure that if this is something you have to put out on a bid or not.
No, it doesn't. Debbie said it doesn't.
Oh, Debbie said it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, we will get 3 quotes. We got 2 already. We need another quote, but she said we don't have to bid it. What is that doesn't exceed our bidding process.
Oh, it doesn't exceed
No.
your
No.
10,000.
No.
Yeah, I'd get the 3 quotes, and then you either authorize the mayor to accept the lowest quote, not to exceed X dollars, or you just wait till the next meeting and approve it then.
Well, if we have to do that, then maybe we don't need to do a not to exceed this month. We just need to do our due diligence and make sure we're ready next month.
I think that's that's the best thing.
Okay, well, we're good with that. Let's just
Or
make sure.
we just bite the bullet on one of the 2 that we have, since they're below our minimum bids. But I think it makes sense to the townspeople to get a 3rd bid.
Well, do you have a policy where you have to get 3 quotes?
Yes, she said we did. They have not always, well, it's been executed, but we will get 3
Yeah.
quotes. So we want people to know that we will have a service to put up by February. We'll have a decision made. So we're not trying to hide information. We're not trying to not listen to them. We're not trying to not get it, but we have a very archaic website right now.
Well, let me just throw something out at you. I know with the GoDaddy, it's a 4 to 6 week turnaround once you start the process.
What did Stone gave us a timeline, didn't they?
No, he went a year contract if we even signed with him. He told me he was behind. Well, I sent it to you all. Hold on, I've got it here with my massive amount of information somewhere. Do y'all need Butner anymore? If not, he can go home. Do y'all want to do anything else for Butner?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you, Keith. I'm sorry.
Who had that filet mignon, was it?
Doreen stopped by her house. Doreen's got the feed.
Yeah.
Stone's was not. His was quite a bit out there too, Nate. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, it's not like going to happen overnight. And he wanted us to sign at least a 12-month contract on maintenance with him. If we.
Well, I think what I'll do, why don't, y'all are okay with it, I'll reach out to Ben Lohman and figure out how to get into the backside of our website and figure out how to do some interim stuff. That way.
Well, you can't do that until Deb's the only one can authorize that because she's the only signature. So actually Jennifer was going to do it, but she won't do everything. So they only have access to one person. They'd have to change the person, and Deb's been it by being the CFO officer. So I'd rather her continue to be that.
Okay. She going to be willing to do some updates? It sounds like, so with what I've just said, I mean, if we said yes tonight, and I don't think we have the information we needed, we're a month and a half out getting anything done. So I feel like we need some interim solution. Something's got to give here. This is, and I mean, if Deb's willing to log on and figure out how to keep that thing updated, then, but I don't think she probably wants to do that.
Well, she's not here, but what we can do, we can figure out how to keep it updated till then, but we need to come up with an answer by the next meeting, to be fair. And I'm going to try to pull up Monteagle, Town of Monteagle website for later. So while I'm sitting here with y'all, there's more comments. Is there any more that we,
Yeah, I mean, I think that there were some people that didn't like that we changed the subject during the comment period, but the comments are about the fact that they haven't been able to communicate and the website is not working. I don't know why we didn't get this certified letter, so let's see.
no, because we don't get the mail. None of us get it, so we can find out what happened, but I can't see us not getting it.
So I'm trying to figure out where we were. It was verified by the post office, received by town hall, said Billy and Mary Bess. I'm by Nifford homeowners. I haven't seen it, so I am sorry about that, but we'll see if we can find it. That's what the mayor just said. Emails were sent to addresses in Monteagle website. So I have gotten a message from Sandy Terrell, and I apologize. I don't think I have replied to that one. I've replied to several. I apologize. If I didn't, I think I don't know. Did Doreen get my email? Says Lucy Keeble. I think you did, didn't you, Doreen?
No, I did not.
Oh, you
and
did.
I messaged her on Messenger to tell her I did not get it.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have her email.
At 8:29, Bill and Mary Beth Best said at the last meeting, Maryland stated the letter had been turned over to the city attorney, but that's not the same letter we're talking about. This one just came out last week, right?
Everything that we've received that had went on to the city attorney, I've not received a certified letter. Debbie's saying we have not received any. I don't get the mail here. She gives it to me. I've not received anything that was certified. What letter is he referring to was returned? Ask him which letter specifically he's talking about that was certified.
It sounds like there was a letter that was signed by 9 landowners, surrounding landowners.
He said December the 22nd. Sam, we have sent you everything we've received from the landowners that you need to review. Did we send you a letter?
I remember getting a letter from Debbie that said the mayor wants you to look at this, and I looked at it and I sent an inquiry back to the effect that, okay, I looked at it. What do you want me to do? And I've not heard anything one way or another. So I guess we'll need to look at it and see.
If that's
There
the letter.
There is a letter where the landowner signed it, but it is not certified if this is the one he is talking about.
And everyone did get that. We didn't get
Yeah,
anything certified. When I got it, I sent it on to you, Sam, email, and all the council got it too. So
yeah, but it's not.
Okay, so we're talking about a letter that came quite a while ago, not one that just came last week.
Well, but they
22nd.
Yeah, and that was sent to the attorney, and that was also sent to the council, and everybody had the chance to review it. But we did not receive it certified. I didn't.
No, I did not either.
So I apologize, but that was sent there for you to review and to read down for us. So if you have anything to report to the Besses or the community per that, that's the reason we forwarded it on to you.
Yeah, well, again, I'll take another look at it, but I received it and I was at the email said for me, you asked for me to look at it and I did. And I sent an inquiry like, what do you want me to opine on or something? And so we'll catch up with that.
Yeah, and we're also going to find the minutes that we're referring to here for that's online with the planning commission. So whoever did what, we'll make sure we address that and correct that at our next meeting if we're incorrect about who was on boards and who was on planning commissions. So we can take care of that because those minutes are still online. But we are saying here, and let's go back to this so we can resolve it, that at the February meeting, which will be
The planning
going to
commission.
the council. Well, actually, I'm talking about the council meeting, which will be the 22nd, because that's the last Monday night of the month. That we'll be prepared to hire a service that can get everything migrated, transferred over, and get our information up online as soon as possible. That being not in a rush, but done correctly. Is that what we're saying tonight? Council?
Yes. Yes.
I don't think we need a motion. I'm just trying to get some confirmation here on what we're planning on doing to get this information out there to people.
Mayor?
My wife.
Yes, sir.
Looking at the comments, it appears that the Bests said that the letter related to the enforcement of our current city ordinances, and I remember that letter now. And I think I need to get with Earl on that and see what his viewpoint is on that as far as that goes, because he's our codes enforcer.
Okay. So folks that are listening, if that information was shared, we did not get it certified. The attorney did have it. He will get with Earl and you will get us a response that we can share with them as soon as you do. We'll make sure that they do get it once you get it to us.
And Bill and Mary Beth Best also said that neighbors have submitted public comments via email by the deadline. I know Foring, Bill submitted public comments, and I think we addressed those in the public hearing.
I thought we did. I mean, we haven't read every letter. Are we required to read every letter, Sam, that when it's by the deadline? I'm just trying to find out because we've been here, if we need to prepare longer times, we're not trying to ignore anyone, but we have a lot of comments in letters that we receive.
I mean, you got to do the best you can. That's all you can do. That's, and some people have methods by which they do that or not, but all you can do is what you can do.
Well, can we ask Mr. Bass, I guess you're listening, and Mrs. Bass, if you can get us, I'd like to have a copy of when that was certified, because I wanted to see what happened with the post office or where it's at or what's going on with it, because you do pay for certified mail and we need to know. Also, Sam, can you get with Earl and get a letter back to me so we can get to the Bass and to the council based upon the letter that you said you need to get Earl about? There wasn't a deadline or a date. Can you do that? And then once you do, we'll get the information back to him. Can you give us a date for that?
I can, it would be probably about a week or 10 days, Mayor.
10 days? So we'll go ahead and set it for 10 days and we'll go from there. So at least, and also, but the Best will provide us with that copy where you certified the mail. I want to go to the post office myself and find out what happened.
So, and this is regarding ordinance 13-109. Yeah, which we spoke about. Earl, that was the one about moving dirt, and you said that was a police issue rather than a zoning issue. But it sounds like Sam's going to weigh in on it. Sam's going to talk to you, and that was my understanding of how that went down.
I found the letter that the mayor that was sent to me and said the mayor I should look at it. And it is the letter of December 22nd that was signed by several people. So I will get with Earl on that.
Didn't I email that to you, Sam? Isn't that a forward?
Debbie did.
But it was a forward. Okay. All right. So in 10 days, we'll have an answer to that. That's what we're setting our deadline.
I can't see if we've missed any other ones. I'm trying to get through here. Anybody see other ones we've missed? We have a receipt from certified mail.
Well, that's all I want to get a copy of. If they can just take a picture of it and email us to us, I'd like to have it. I'm gonna go to the post office and find out what's going on with it. If they paid for certified mail, we should have got it certified, and so we'll verify it too on our end. I mean, none of us get the mail, so that's the reason, we need to find out what happened, So. The emails were forwarded to the attorney. Are they asking if we're going to read every email? I'm not sure what the question is there. What about the emails that were sent? I'm not sure what that question is. Do you know? Does anybody understand that one?
We've gotten a lot of emails.
Yeah.
So Billy, that's Billy and Mary Beth Best. Billy, I think I've replied to every email you've sent.
And I think it usually, Nate, you do, if you send an email, you CC us so everybody doesn't reply to it. That's not communicating, so. They keep saying public comment sent per your request by Thursday at 1, not just us, but other neighbors.
I got Will's. I don't know that I got other requests to speak, but Will spoke. I'm just not sure. Billy and Mary Beth, were y'all on at the public hearing? Because that's when Will spoke.
Well, yeah, because Mr. Best spoke at the public hearing.
Lucy, I understand that if we read the comments along the way that it would flow a little better. I'm afraid we would never get through our meeting, however. So we're trying to straddle the communication and Robert's Rules of Order here. Thank you. I'm glad you get it, because
and we're not trying to ignore anyone. So
all right.
Okay, as far as public comment, Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, they're around 3 minutes. I think we've tried to address as many as we can. We have found out, so it's hard to reconstruct the narrative, y'all know, that we have found out that there's a letter we do need to address. We've got a 10-day deadline on it, and we're going to check on the certified mail, what happened to that. Do we need to continue the public comment, Sam, or can we?
I think you've, it's up to the council, but generally speaking, I think you're kind of plowing ground you've already plowed.
Okay, council, Nate, do you,
Yeah, I think unless anyone in the gallery has a new topic to bring to us, I'm afraid we've done what we can with the topics we've been given.
Jessica,
I think we've done what we need to do tonight.
Doreen?
I'm ready to adjourn.
Okay. All right, do we have a
No one in the
motion?
comment has said otherwise, so it sounds like they're ready too.
Do we have a motion to adjourn tonight?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, Nate?
Roll call, yeah.
Yeah. Aye.
Jessica?
Aye.
Doreen?
Yes, aye.
And I. Thank you all. Thank everyone that was involved, and we'll try to get better. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.